All right, we are live and we are recording, and I need to alt tab a bunch. We were just talking about how Kane has decided to upend our expectations for a variety of things. Specifically, when we ask things like, Kane, are we good to go for our game tonight? And how he is no longer going to give a quote unquote verbal response, but a non verbal one instead. That's okay. I am adaptable. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander for the Krieg Dominion and your host for tonight's events, Along the Frontier, an Alien RPG campaign. This is episode 6, Quid Pro Quo. And I am the Game Master, the Game Mother, and a few other titles that you could probably use. With me, of course, are my players, Rodance, Luke, Kane. Let's check in with them really quick and see what's new and exciting for them. And meanwhile, I am not at all. Nope, not happening. Not over here training my facehuggers to walk upright on their rear legs. Ro, we'll start with you because it looks like you have a mouthful of food, and that's how we do it in the service industry. What's new and exciting for you, my friend?
Well, I can say today's Tuesday, right?
It is Tuesday.
I
yes.
have officially made it 3 days into having my online dating turned on, and I haven't gotten a dick pic yet. It's been 3 days.
I don't even know. I know how I want to respond, but I just don't know how to respond to that.
Well, don't respond with a dick pic.
Wow.
Yes, that would be greatly preferred.
What kind of show are we running here?
So I've learned that, one, blocking them is, while the appropriate answer, I prefer going online, finding a better picture, and sending it back.
That is so. Yeah, that's. And then then give them like a 5-page.
Is hilarious.
Yeah, and then you have to give them like a 5-page essay on how the one you provided was better than what they have, just to crush their soul.
Oh, I mean, then you comment on their lack of photography skills. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's. I think that's the best part. Is like, if you had tried from a different angle, I might have been interested, but now I'm not, and therefore block. I can't believe that that's what we opened with tonight, but here we are. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Of being a person who does online dating.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Well, I think the male equivalent of that, and this is from my own experiences, so maybe I'm incredibly biased here, but I think as a male, to have a similar statement, it would be something like this. I have been in the online dating world for 3 days, and I have not yet been approached by a scam or a bot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because
those asking for money for their
men are easily targeted for obvious reasons because, well, not to get
or
too
or the message that has the picture associated is a famous person and there's typos in the body of the text.
Oh, yeah. I actually there was a time shortly after my second divorce where I was kind of dabbling with a certain website, and I didn't realize at the time, but what the person I was interacting with was obviously not entirely genuine. And I did a reverse image search, which, by the way, for all the men out there, that tool is a wonderful tool to use to protect yourself. And in that reverse image search, it was a porn star of some degree, probably low level, low grade, whatever. As in, not necessarily published material specifically, but like
less famous.
We'll just say a certain website with black and orange or black and yellow logos.
You know what kind of made the news lately? That it's currently blocked in North Carolina because laws.
I could see that, though, and I'm surprised it's only North Carolina. I feel like there are a number. I mean, this is my personal opinion, mind you, but I know some states in particular, usually generally in the South, tend to have sorts of issues with that content.
It's not that. They blocked the state of North Carolina.
Oh, I have this
not
backwards.
The other way around.
I have this backwards. That's wild.
Yeah, they implemented a law in North Carolina that requires providers of adult entertainment to collect proper identification, and they're like, "Nah, we're just blocking the state."
No, I vaguely recall you mentioning that once before, actually, on Blood and Glory, perhaps.
Well, that's because it probably just hit the news then.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And
roughly a year
technology
ago.
news like that is always fascinating.
Oh yeah.
It's the intersection between laws and technology, and that just happens to be a hilarious one.
Yeah. You got anything else? We really
Did
opened
everybody
with
put submissions in for Deadpool yet? About how we're all gonna
I
die?
haven't seen new ones. The last one I think I saw
I
was
think everybody has one in now. So
No, I
amongst
haven't put
the
one
cast. Oh yeah. I think amongst the cast, I think Luke is the only one. But also, I haven't seen any viewers. So viewers, please get in the Discord and tell us who you think is going to bite it, when roughly, and more importantly, how. I can't promise any gifts or anything. I am a very broke individual. Luke,
bragging rights, maybe
bragging rights is always a thing.
a
Luke,
name on the edge of the frame.
I've thought about that, and I actually did that once before, and then I ended up having to boot that person off my show that he was on. And yeah. Anyway.
Ooh.
Luke, what's new and exciting for you, my friend? What's new in the land of no, we'd never send airborne troopers to another nation to do things.
The peacekeep.
Yeah, the peace. Keep the peace.
Yeah.
Keep the peace with a bottle of syrup.
Yeah, you can't you can't fight back if you're dead, right? So peace and prosperity.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
Well, in the line of insurance, hopefully my employer never sees this, but I have gotten a Steam Deck, which basically means that I am 10% less productive at work.
Only 10? I feel like you're not trying hard enough. That's the line I was going to use on our dance, but I didn't really feel totally comfortable doing that. Anyway, sorry, Ro.
Just pick it on here today.
Hey, look, if I wanted to pretend to be a gay man, I probably could be swimming in them. But
I feel like you being a woman is enough, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, I have a very low opinion of humanity. It's not limited to one gender or the other.
Of course.
Anyway, Luke, please.
Nah,
what's new for you, my friend?
Equal opportunity disappointed.
Exactly. If I was gonna get a tattoo, that might be it.
What's new? I'm leaving the province and going nearly what would be like 12 European countries away to the same part of my country.
To the other side of the country.
Yeah, to the other side of the one country. I'm gonna be visiting my mom and my brother. Mostly my mom, because I don't like my brother very much. I'm kidding.
Nah, I feel like you've mentioned it before. I think it's okay.
Yeah, but nah, he's great in normal doses. But I'm gonna be seeing my mom.
We call that in measured doses. But please continue.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing some touristy stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. I know I'm wearing my flowery shirt of ice creams, but I don't like doing touristy stuff, and my mom is all about it, and it's gonna be terrible. But at least whatever, I'll have that crossed off my list.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kane, I just saw you the other day, but for the rest of my viewers, we haven't seen you in about a week. What's new and exciting for you? Oh, and AP only does 1 hour of intros a week. At a very predetermined specific time.
Well, I don't know. I have never sent nor received a dick pic, so I've got no input on that topic.
I will say this.
Just so you know, you cannot keep them as a collection because that would probably accidentally fall under revenge porn laws. Otherwise, I would totally keep a stack of them to break them out as a Rolodex.
Can you identify this pic?
Yes.
Thank you for your submission. You have been racked and stacked against the others, and you have been found to be in the bottom 20th percentile.
But I can't actually do that because laws.
Oh wow! You could truncate it to like you have been found. What was the last part you said? You're in the bottom 20% percentile or whatever.
Yeah, you've been found wanting.
Well, no, don't say that because somebody's gonna misunderstand what you're trying to say and be like, "Oh, you mean you want more?"
when I lived in the DC area, people would come and visit to do touristy things, but it was all the same ones, every group of people. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I know where all these things are now, and I've seen them enough times that I'm gonna try to. If I was gonna play games on my phone, you guys just walk through the place. Like it's
Yeah, and I mean, the loops is not gonna have a lot of touristy stuff. I've seen some videos about it, just to kind of prepare myself, and most of it is just really expensive real estate and like mountainsides. And mountainsides seem pretty interesting, but like I know my mom, she's gonna be like, let's go to the mall or something. I'm gonna be like, no,
Ooh, the
that's
mall.
not
I know.
touristy.
I never really understood, and I've been subjected to it more than once now. Like the most recent example was getting on a boat to just go along and look at all the riverfront property. I was like, why are we looking at other people's backyards?
Yeah,
We can appreciate the architecture. You go, woo! It's a $2 million house.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the
Yeah.
last time I did
People
a
getting excited
very
about it. I'm like, I just don't. I don't get it.
yeah,
I have a
I
story
totally
about
understand that. That's so weird.
I think for me, and my take of what you've offered there is, I could appreciate looking at other people's houses in the, oh, that'd be kind of cool to put on my list of, that'd be a nice thing to have, or a nice feature to have, or a nice style to have. Or occasionally, like driving in my route, uh, there's a few houses that I wouldn't mind having the opportunity to walk through, just because from what I see outside, looks like it'd be kind of a cool house to check out or be a part of. But beyond that, yeah, no. You take those two things out of the picture. Like if you're not looking for property, if you're not interested in any of the architecture or anything like that, yeah, that's bound to be a boring ride. If all you're doing is looking
so
at properties.
I went to a set of islands which had about the same area as a third or more of Maine. Um, it's right next to Maine.
So like
Anyways,
Hawaii. I'm joking. I'm
yeah.
joking.
So it was a series of isles, and about 1,200 people live there, about the same like size as like a third of Maine, which is ridiculous. No one lives there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got on a boat, and I almost died on it because I thought like, okay, we're gonna be doing some touristy stuff. I don't really like this. I was with like an ex or something, and she's like, no, we're doing drunk hillbilly stuff. So I'm like, great. That's
Drunk hillbilly
that's
stuff. A new category has been unlocked.
so I'm like, this is right up my alley. So we got on a boat. It was a Chesapeake. I don't know if you know boats.
I do not, unfortunately.
Okay, well, Chesapeake is like a fishing boat, but it had like a better engine on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we went drag racing with a bay boat, another guy who just had a boat, and he was out and he's like, hey, what's up? And we're like, we're drinking. He's like, let's drag race. So it's like, okay, cool.
Jesus.
So we're driving this Chesapeake, which is not supposed to go more than like, I don't know, like I don't know kilometers an hour on boat language, but the point being is like probably like 30 kilometers an hour or maybe like 18 miles per hour. But we were going like 40 or 50 or 60. And anyways, the boat ends up going on a side and flipping to the side, and then we're spinning around in this like weird whirlpool thing. And I can't swim. I'm drunk. And we don't have life jackets, and we're about a kilometer or two away from shore. I'm like, this is the moment I die. Yeah.
That's
So
it.
somehow the driver like pulls it.
I'm about
back.
to be a drunk cautionary tale. Damn it.
You are. I'm about to be a
Yeah.
new paragraph in the weekly safety brief.
Pretty much. So there was a lot more to the story, but the point is we almost died, and the guy driving the boat, I don't know what you call driving a boat, but whatever. I don't know boats.
I think technically it's a pilot, but I'm not going to argue with you on it.
Captain, maybe?
Helm?
Anyways.
Yeah.
He's standing on me, and then he somehow gets the boat back on its side, and we bucket the water out of the Chesapeake boat, and the driver of the other boat kind of pulls around. He's like, "Are you guys okay? I saw you guys almost flipped it," and we're like, "Yeah." So yeah, almost safety breathing.
Yeah, that definitely warranted a couple of lines in the weekly safety brief.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get started? Is there anything else that we need to discuss? We're like just under 15 minutes in, and I feel like we should probably like have aliens gnawing on somebody's arm.
Oh, that's coming real soon.
Oh, it's coming
I
very soon.
mean-
It's coming very soon. It's going to be our first
Okay.
scene, in fact. But before I digress, or as I digress, I suppose, Our normal recap montage begins with the attack on the Cheyenne, moments after crash landing on a jungle moon. A firefight that ends nearly as abruptly as it began, and later with bodies strung up in a tree. We see then a boot stepping on an old, nearly rusted through landmine, but that foot and the marine to which it belongs are soon saved. Finally, we see the jagged hull shape of the Glory, the ship you guys were all sent here to find, only to learn it wasn't actually a UA ship, but a UPP ship. And it's been here for months, not mere weeks. We get a few shots of the Marines in the dark, overgrown, musty, muddy, brackish, water-filled corridors. Another brief burst of rounds as something swimming in the water is shot and killed. And then the last thing we see of this montage recap is a shot as though we were on the back of some creature wading quickly through the water and swiftly approaching an unaware Marine ready to bite into their meaty thigh. Outside, it is virtually pitch dark. The faint glow of the gas giant has receded to a whisper of slightly less dark sky just above the treetops all around you. This is applying mostly to the two that are on guard there. Excuse me. And the sun has dropped away a few hours ago, I should say. I need, from the two pulling guard, an observation roll at a -2. Unless you can prove you've got some sort of MVGs, because I did not verify if you guys had any sort of night vision gear on you.
We've got.
I don't believe we do.
We've got shoulder lamps.
Yeah,
You have shoulder lamps,
are right.
so I will
And
allow...
Mark 1 eyeballs.
I only have one token, too.
I'm sorry?
I only have the one token for Winston.
No, the other guy's there too.
Oh, yeah, he's there. Okay.
His token has got the, what is it called? Catasius or something like that? The medical thing. Well, whichever one's got the better observation, but I will allow a -1 instead of 2 because of the shoulder lamps. Okay. It's dark out there, my friends. It is fucking dark.
All right, we're rolling with Leland Winston.
Okay.
Oop.
I need
One
you to roll.
success and a panic.
Yep, I need you to roll that panic too.
All right, stress.
Oh, you're at level 8. You have the trembles. The trembles. You're shaking. It's getting to you. The darkness is closing in on you. You did get a success, so here's what happens. And this is probably part of the reason. I don't know why I closed that. Actually, I do know why I closed it. Not important, though. And I think the reason why the trembles get to you is this right here.
Oh, shit.
And it's dark as shit, and you didn't hear a damn thing. This individual has moved very stealthily. Perfect. Let me get to my notes here. Let's see. A little old lady has approached the guards and is currently standing right at the exterior of the hull of the ship. You guys are a little bit further back to use it as cover because you'd been hearing aircraft overhead and didn't want to get outright spotted or what have you.
Yeah.
This little old lady probably stands like, I don't know, just under 5 feet tall if she stood up straight, but she's not standing straight. She's hunched over. She actually has the look of someone who has consistently carried heavy weight on her back for years. Years and years and years. So she's bent over at the waist a little bit. Her back is kind of hunched. And she looks all of about 70 years old. She might actually be older than that. You're not really sure. And she is saying something to the effect of, "Who's in charge here? I really need to speak to them."
Hold your position. Please.
Not coming any closer.
Good.
Who's in charge here?
I'm gonna radio. Let's see here. Kane. I forgot your name, man.
Kane, but he can't remember your character's name, even though it's on the overlay.
I don't.
Sergeant.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm
Sergeant
talking shit because that's what I do.
Yeah, I'm remembering the names.
Yeah, Pike.
Okay. So, Pike, Sergeant Pike, we have a couple of visitors here at the entrance. They don't seem violent, but we've told them to stay out.
is trying to figure out how to respond to this.
Well, is Pike get busy in the middle of a fight right now? Or?
To answer your question, yes, but I wanted you to have a half a second or so of dialogue to throw back before I said something like, and then Watts gets bit.
Okay, that all you hear back on the radio is stand by.
Yeah, because as Pike is answering that call, there is indeed something in the water. And I said Watts. I'm not sure if I got the right guy here. It is Watts. Okay. Watts, based on his position on the map, is going to feel a fish rub up against his leg all lovingly, like, apparently, because I missed.
Yes, Watts is indeed standing in the front.
So with that in mind, I need to add you guys to the combat encounter. And then I need all. And that will place everybody where they need to be. All right, so that first one, not sure which one that is. That first one, though, is biting also on Watts. I'm trying to get I've got a lot of windows open here, so bear with me. I can close that for now. Move this over, and then bring this guy here for now. All right. And then switch it over on stream so people can see my roll. All right. This next flatfish, I guess, is the second one. The first one in the initiative order there. He is also going to swim up and take a chomp out of what's his name's leg. Let's see. That's 5 damage. So, okay. So when it rolls like that, I saw a 1, but it didn't show anything else. Am I reading these dice rolls wrong or something? Reveal to everyone.
Do you want me to look?
Yeah, if you could, because it just shows 5 dB. It doesn't specify if it was a hit or not. It rolled dice, and the only number I saw was a 1. The other dice were all the blank face.
If you click on the 5 die thing there, if you left click on it, it'll open up and show you each individual die.
It's not doing that for some reason.
When I can see it, and when I click on it, it actually is showing 5 black squares.
Okay. I don't know why it's not showing me. Maybe it's because I have windows moved around or something. I don't know. It's fine. It appears to have been a miss, so that will take it to... Oh, I forgot to hit begin. All right, that will take it to Mr. Watts, who has got 2 fish that are apparently hungry. And I'm just going to leave the screen on this for right now, so people can see what's going on. So, Mr.
He
Watts.
Is so kinds of not appreciative of this moment. I mean, he's going to now use his poor rifle once again as a club. Because he's not shooting stuff that's basically right next to his feet. Because he's not crazy.
No, of course not.
Oh, God.
Roll some stress.
Do I roll that once or twice?
You just roll it once. 2. You're good. Watts has that iron will, or not,
Nerves of steel.
Thank you. I don't know why I could not think of the right phrase. All right. So Watts is good to go. He does manage to hit, and he's doing a melee attack. I believe we determined it was 2 points of damage. Was it?
It's a rifle, but it's 1.
Okay.
Yeah. The knife
and he's
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he would use his other success for an extra point of damage.
Well, there was only with a 1 success. Oh no, you got 2 on there. I'm sorry. Let me verify. I mean, that was a success. I'll count it. So that one is dead. Let's go ahead and delete this guy. Let me get my computer to work with me here. Or more accurately, me to work with me. These 2, I'm just going to scoot them up just because. Mr. Pike, or Sergeant Pike, because you're not a warrant officer. It is your turn, my friend.
Let's see. What
And
we
I'm
got?
assuming you guys can see the little footprint thingies on the map there.
Yes, the paw prints.
Yes.
With
It is
claws.
dark, and I forgot to add modifiers, but I also didn't put that in any of my notes for this, so screw it. You've got enough light with your flashlights to see these kind of it's almost like a cross between an eel and a manta ray, except they're not very large. So they're like maybe a meter long at most. And they have what appears to be some sharp little teeth on them, according to Watts anyway.
I'm gonna auto fire.
Okay. Walk me through auto fire just so I recall exactly how that works. 'Cause off the top of my head, I'm getting like 6 different ways of full automatic going in my head.
Well, I will take a point of stress for doing it. And I should be getting 2 free dice.
Do you take stress for that? You yourself?
Yes. Yes, you do. Unless you have the machine gunner talent.
That's what it is. Let's see. I thought you had the talent that negates that, but then once you said machine gunner, I realized nope, that's not you, because you have other talents that make you unique.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of problem.
Yeah, you are. I should not be laughing so hard at that.
Let's see how it goes.
I'm assuming you're shooting at the closest one there.
Jeebus, I'm gonna push that.
One whole success.
To one
All
whole
right,
success.
I'll take another one.
Or a total of 2 successes, I should say. And you're firing with full auto. Does that give you a bonus to damage as well?
Nope, just gives me more dice.
More chances to hit. Okay. All right. And with the M41A pulse rifle, it does, I want to say off the top of my head, 3 base damage?
It's 2 base.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Armor piercing, yeah?
See, it's right there. Yep, armor piercing. And I'm going to use the initial success to hit the first target.
Okay.
So that'll be 2 damage on this guy.
Okay.
And because I auto-fired, I can assign other 6s to hit other targets at base damage. So I will also hit this one for 2 damage.
Let me delete this guy. This fight has become incredibly short and not very exciting for me. Because now he's rolling armor piercing, and he is also dead. Combat encounter complete. I guess we're going to go back to roleplay now.
Mike, click.
So
It was some more fish.
Pike does his burst of
good?
automatic fire, and then... All right, I'm on the way.
Let me pull up my notes really quick so I can stay on topic here. Intros? Let's see.
I think I have a mic setting for this. Give me 1 second. Oh, yeah. I do.
A radio mic setting?
I do.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, it does
work. In combat, yes, I can close that, move this over here, and then open this window here.
I can even hotkey it if I want.
That's amazing. The hotkey, I feel like, would be really, really helpful as far as like trying to have that authenticity of a radio scene. Give me 1 quick second. My 10-year-old needs my attention for something.
Yeah, Sergeant Pike, would you like us to hang back out of line of sight?
Yes.
Just keep working on what you're working on.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, Sergeant.
So, Rodance, if you could move your people to where you're going to move them, and then Pike and Gannon, you guys will, I'm assuming you're going to move to the hall access area, or...
We're going to the entrance.
Okay. So go ahead
We've got visitors.
Yeah, go ahead.
I need to decide if I'm going to murder them or not.
Yeah, you do. Go ahead and make that movement. And while you're doing that, let me interject one small thing. I need to pull my other page of notes up, though, because I forgot what I was going to say.
Whoops, I did not mean to do that.
Yeah, no worries. As you are all moving about, and as Winston and Warren are holding tight with this little old Asian lady, there is, throughout the entirety of the ship, a resonating clanking sound, followed by some sort of a low moaning sound reverberating through the halls in a weird, echoey sort of way. I don't have sound effects, and I'm not about to try to emulate what you're hearing, but basically you hear a big clanging bash, and then like insert traditional, Scooby-Doo ghostly sounds reverberating through the hallways. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah. But they're like actually creepy, not comedic.
Yeah, it's even more creepy from an engineering sense when you know that distressed metal makes really disturbing noises,
Oh yeah.
and you may or may not want to continue standing where you're currently standing.
Kids.
What, do you need some?
Again.
Give me one quick moment, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we don't know how much time we have on the ship before it finishes collapsing. It's not in good
Yeah.
condition.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
We've already found collapsed rooms. It's
Yeah.
flooded.
And it's been here for a while.
Yeah,
It's
space-like
like that,
objects aren't really designed to be landed on the ground like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like that Futurama joke. This is a spaceship. It can take 0 atmospheres. How many atmospheres are we at now? 10,000. 0 to 1. Or whatever how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking tired.
There's a reason why water boils at different temperatures depending on the elevation. Pressure makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. Pressure is heat. That's
Mhm.
why black holes are hot, apparently. I wonder if he's making pizza pockets.
Oh God, can you imagine us sitting here talking about the different flavors of pizza pockets as the recording continues to run?
I mean, 3 cheese is my jam. You know, like
Oh God, I wish I could eat them, but the lactose intolerance has made pizza pockets unbearable.
Ooh.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
They
I
were an
got 2
entire
bathrooms in
food
my
group
house.
as they were an entire food group as a teenager, and then the sunset sailed on cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah. I still eat the shit out of some cheese, but milk, ice cream, milkshakes, no, I won't do it. It's because I know what'll happen later, and I don't want to deal with it half the time. I do
You don't
apologize for.
you don't even finish eating it before everything starts to hurt. It's
Yeah.
just not worth it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it's just I get a bad case of gas, but at the same time, like I just don't want to deal with it. It's not comfortable. It doesn't necessarily hurt or anything. It's just unpleasant. I do apologize for having to go AFK for a second there. The neighbor kid that my son is essentially best friends with needed some medicine, and I had to go look for some. So I am back. And when Pike, you get to the entrance here, Winston and Warren are keeping guard on this. It's literally, as I explained earlier, a little old Asian lady who stands maybe 5 feet tall if she were to stand up straight, looking like she's probably about 60 or 70 years old, but she's got that hunched back of someone who's carried heavy weights on her back for the last 30 or 40 years. And she says to you, what are you guys doing here? And she's speaking kind of broken and very heavily accented English.
Pike will try Spanish and say, "Is this easier for you?"
I have no clue what you just said.
Okay.
I think
I take it you know who we are.
I think if you had any best guess, you might want to try French or Vietnamese.
Oh, well, no,
Oh,
no.
wow.
So Pike looks at her and says, "I take it you know who we are."
Marines, United Americas, yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
We're here to find something and then go home.
I've heard this one before. Especially the go home part. What are you looking for?
I can't tell you that.
Well, that's a shame.
You seem like You seem like you've really you've earned your time here. So I'll give you the respect of not lying to you.
I've lived here my whole life. I am the, some would say, matriarch. Is that the right word? The matriarch for my people.
I see.
Actually, I'm
So
not sure
you're
if she would have been
here.
here her whole life, but she's definitely been here long enough.
Yeah. So you're here to see if we're an enemy.
That is one way to put it, yes.
Well, whether you believe me or not, I'm not here for you or your people. I'm here to find something on this piece of shit and then get off the planet and leave it to you.
Piece of shit. Yes, I like this. This is UPP piece of shit. A UP piece of shit, you could say. She chuckles at her own little joke.
Sure. But aside from a dropship coming in to get us out of here, well, we have no interest in going anywhere else in your jungle.
Been plenty of drop ships around here lately. Saw
Yeah,
one
do you know anything about them? You
saw
know who they
one
are?
saw one burning just the other day. Just earlier today, in fact. Do you know anything about that?
That one probably got shut down.
Some of my
When we were
people
coming
went to check it
in,
out. They never came home. What do you know about that?
it's a dangerous jungle. People
It
should be
is.
careful who they shoot at without asking questions first.
So you strung them up.
Yeah.
I'll be watching you. And almost like on cue, you hear yet another, somewhat louder this time, resonating clank somewhere in the ship, not far from you. And it reverberates and echoes. It's almost as if the sound, like, I know how dumb this sounds because I know sound travels through the material, but it's almost like you could almost picture little sound waves rippling the walls. It sounds that ominous because I'm horrible at describing this.
Is there a name that I can use to be at least a little bit more polite about this?
You want to know my name?
Or whatever you want me to call you. I don't care if
You
it's
can.
honest.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have three. This is a three-name person, and it's an Asian name, and I'm not sure which one is the one I'm gonna go with. So we're just gonna go with Ding. Actually, no, we're gonna go with Ha. I feel like that's the more accurate one to use. So she's like, you could call me Ha. What can I call you
Pike.
besides Marine?
My name's Pike.
Like, what are you looking for here? We've already ransacked this place. We got a lot of the stuff out that we needed. There isn't much left to it.
I can tell. Where did anybody survive this ship and join your people? Or survive the ship and are hiding from your people?
Well, if they're hiding, pretty sure we would have found them. They're
Pretty
up
sure
in
you would
sleeper
have too.
pods, but we didn't really mess with them. Some of them looked like they had people in them. We figured the power would run out. They would die. We left them as is. We don't want people here. I think that is try to think what word she would use. I think that's easy to see. We are our own people. So whatever it is you're here for, I'm just gonna wager the flight recorder. You can get it and get the hell off my planet. I think we'd all be much happier.
I'll do you one better. We're going to try to find that flight recorder and we'll take those bodies out so you don't have to worry about them waking up on their own.
Well, if this ship doesn't have any power, they're probably already dead.
Agreed. But if they're not, we'll make sure that they
She
can't
does.
be your problem.
She does one of these motions with her hands. She's like, "I wash my hands of the bodies. This ship has taken too many of my own people."
Well, as far as I'm concerned, since you decided to talk to us instead of shoot at us, you don't need to come up in our report. Nobody needs to know that you have any presence in this area, and we can take what we came for and leave, and there'll be no further investigation.
It's nice of you to make that offer, but I have a bigger problem than that. It's nice. Let me rephrase that. It's nice that you would make that offer, but Camacho, on the other hand, I don't think he's going to be quiet about our presence.
Who?
Camacho, the UPP soldiers. They're not far.
Ah.
Commandos, they might be. Inept, I call them.
Well, given that your people have a history of fighting here, and I'm giving you some respect for that, I take it you know where they are and how they're moving.
She points up at the sky. You don't hear them even now? And then it takes probably a moment, because despite her ancient age, apparently her hearing is much more attuned to the jungle life than yours, despite your combat veteran status, or maybe because of your combat veteran status, because I can't hear shit. But a moment later, you hear the distinct but faint whine of... Your ears would probably recognize it as a Cheyenne's turbine engines, but it doesn't sound quite the same.
Do they have anyone on the ground?
If they don't now, they will soon, judging by what I'm hearing. And
So
if they
if that's
don't,
a problem, and you're talking to me about this problem, are you looking for some help with it? Because
she gives you.
I'm amenable to laying some UPP bodies.
She gives that look when somebody's like, "I'm just gonna leave this right here, and when I come back from the restroom, if it's gone, oh dear." She gives you one of those looks, and a bit of a shrug at the same time. If this problem goes away, and nobody finds out about my people, I'm a happy old lady. Bring me that flight recorder, though.
I've got to take the flight recorder.
Okay.
Those are my orders.
Fair enough. Orders are orders.
I can stick around a little bit longer and see if I can't solve that UPP problem for you, though.
See that you
Less
do.
eyes in the jungle.
You take care of that UPP problem. She's gonna make another joke. That UP problem. Because I'm just picturing her in her head. She's trying to put these acronyms together and make a joke out of them. It's not quite hitting. You take care of that UP problem, and my people will leave you alone. And as she says, leave you alone, you see directly behind her first this guy, who, if you click on the map or whatever, you'll notice that there's one. But then you'll notice that there's two others coming from, like, one here and one here. Oops. That just kind of slink out of the shadows. And they are absolutely silent in their movements, and they're very methodical. Picture, if you will, a professional sniper in a ghillie suit, because that's almost what they look like. And she turns and looks at you, or she starts to turn away, and then she looks back at you. She says, "Yeah, I think if you take care of this problem, we'll forget about the 3 bodies you left in the trees." And they disappear ominously into the dark.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, Pike looks at the two of you and says, that
Okay.
woman's a warrior she's a warrior who got old.
You know
It's
what
a
they say?
lot.
You know what they say
Respect
about warriors
there.
that get old, right?
Yeah.
You don't fuck with them.
Well, some people have that kind of luck, I guess.
So it's luck or skill. You take the pick.
No, you got to have both to get old. All right. Keep an eye out for, we got to rush through this place. I'm not worried about anybody creeping in here on us. So
Okay.
I want you to also start searching around, see if you can find that cryo.
Okay.
We need to get in and out of here so we can set up an ambush for the UPP guys.
I want to point out, as a frame of reference, it is roughly, let's say it's about 10 o'clock at night. So it's like full dark, no local ambient light outside of, a faint glimmer from the gas giant. But the gas giant's below the horizon, if that makes sense. So you're not going to get a whole hell of a lot of light out of it. And you've probably got a solid, we'll say, 7 or 8 hours until you have anything close to daylight. And I'm using an earthly based time frame because I don't have rotational data for this moon. So we'll just default to standard, several hours between sunrise and sunset. Or
I want
sunset
you
and
to
sunrise.
I want you to find the cryo. If you do, don't try to wake anybody up. Just, figure out who's dead yet or not and let me know.
Got it.
So, does anything look interesting in the sensor maintenance bay?
Let me review my little bit of notes here. I don't recall anything specific off the top of my head.
Because I don't think we got a description of this room other than bad guys are coming.
Yes. So this is a technical area used to calibrate the military vessel's sensor suite. That's literally what it says right here. Outside of the ship, there is a spiky sensor antenna array. If you remember, like in the movie, especially in Aliens, you see at the front of the Sulaco is all of those little spiky bits, antennas, and things of that nature. This is where a lot of the maintenance and calibration and testing of connections and things of that nature takes place. Whereas on the bridge, that's where they receive all that information. This is where the work is done to make sure everything's working correctly. It is flooded roughly between shin and knee deep. You looking at this, it looks like if you could fix up some of the, repair some of the damages that have been done by the environment, you might be able to get a working radio here.
Click. Sergeant Pike, I found a spot where we might get a working radio.
I love how you basically regurgitated what I just said.
Fantastic news, Marine. I've got a shift in your priorities. I need that weapon online. I'm going to need you to shoot down a dropship soon.
That escalated. Here I am picturing
Sergeant,
a firefight on the ground, and you're like, no, shoot that motherfucker out of the air.
They have ammunition for their weapons. We found the magazine.
You did.
That's first step. Next, you gotta get that thing moving and targeting.
Okay, so I would check the rest of this hallway real quick, just because. Is it obvious this is a computer mainframe? I mean, that's what it says on the map.
Yeah, I feel like on the door it would be in Cyrillic, but it would have the letters 1 and then VAN. Whatever the Cyrillic letters for those would be. As a nameplate, I should say.
So, is this door actually open the way it is on the map?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
The door's closed.
Okay, so it's I also click. Sergeant Pike, I think I also found the computer mainframe. Click.
All right, we'll get to that. Well, you guys go ahead and have your conversation first. Let's see about getting some other stuff figured out too. Go ahead and do that conversation, and then it'll be Luke's turn to maneuver, attempting to find the sleeper pods.
I mean, I'm just gonna ask where it is, and I'm gonna take Kian in there.
Okay.
Cool.
Right.
We can move now.
Down the hallway.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And then Luke, for Winston and Warren, go ahead and reposition them where you would like to go to figure out whatever it is you want to figure out. You're looking for the sleeper bays. I know where they are, but I'm not going to tell you, so it's more fun this way.
Okay.
You also have your radio filter on.
I know.
You're really liking that thing, aren't you?
I am enjoying this one.
Okay.
I can hear myself. It's great.
It's awesome. Where are you exactly?
I'm over here.
Oh, you're still there. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So, Pike, where are we going? Do you think that would be the sleeper bays?
I'm not sure if anybody's checked down this hallway yet.
Down this hallway?
Wescott's on the other side of the ship.
Initially they did go down this hallway because down
we
here
didn't open any doors.
Yeah, Pike
yeah, they
on
went.
purpose.
Yeah, they basically just went straight down the hallway because here's the power station where I'm pinging, and then they went further on all the way to the other end of the ship, and then they doubled back on the other hallway.
Yeah, Pike doesn't know that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and
so I'm gonna go down
this.
this way then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna stop at this this area separation thing.
Yeah, it's the zone boundary. That hallway will lead up to the sensor maintenance bay where the gunfire was a few moments ago. The one that brutally murdered some hungry fish.
It was very cathartic
Yes.
for Pike.
I'm sure it was.
Jeez.
My stress
Alright,
goes down when
do
I
I go
kill
one
things.
one more area?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. You can go ahead and move. You have a hallway here, which nobody has gone down.
Okay, so
Obviously,
I'm
you
gonna go
see the
down
doors
this way.
there. Okay.
Yep.
Let me find that description in my notes.
And then you shall
Moment.
open the door.
Take me just a moment. I think I'm in the right spot. Here we go. There's a crack in the hull here, but it's not wide enough to crawl through. Oh, you wouldn't be able to see this yet. Never mind. Let's see. Go ahead
Do I
and
open
give
the door?
me, yeah. Go ahead and give me either a base strength roll, or if you have the what the hell is it called? Maintenance jack, you can make a heavy machinery roll because you will have to manually open this door. There's no power here
Okay.
because you guys have
Warren
figured
is
out how
going
to do the
attempt
power, but nobody's actually turned any power on.
Okay. Warren is going to
See-
attempt
I
while
see Warren's-
Winst-
Oh, you got Winston underneath him. Okay.
Yeah. Strength check.
Yeah. Is it strength that I was looking for?
Hiya!
And since you're making a roll, let me turn that on real quick. Ooh. Warren is not doing good on stress. No,
No,
I
he's
take
not.
that back. This is his first time to roll stress, I believe. Warren is struggling with his door, and he's actually starting to get incredibly frustrated. The tension, etc. Go ahead and make that stress roll for me, please. 4, and he's now at a 7 with a with a nervous twitch, and the stress level of all PCs in short range increases by 1. That would be Winston. It also increases by +1.
Okay, so I just increase them by +1.
For
both
Winston,
of you,
yeah.
yeah.
For both, yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Well, my stress automatically went up for Warren, I believe.
It should have, yes.
I mean, it goes up again because of the
Okay.
result.
Okay.
And then you did not. I'll give you. I mean,
I'll forget that I saw anything.
well, you didn't see anything. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
I'm about to give you like the door cracked open enough where it'll just take another turn to pop open. So you're stuck dealing with the door. On the next turn, when I come back around, you'll be able to open it without a roll. But let's go ahead and go to Sergeant Pike and Gannon.
We're headed to Ivan.
Okay, and then that means Wescott and Watts are going back to the sensor maintenance, I believe, or are they going somewhere else?
Well, if we go by the magazine's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, this door that's right across from the magazine, is it labeled as a crew quarters?
It is. It's one of the several on this hallway that has what appears to be various names of people.
Okay. Then she would start looking for a door that wasn't labeled like crew quarters, which I believe she saw one in this hallway down here.
Yeah, there's
Crew-
doors. Oops. Yeah, right where I just pinged.
Yeah. So is that door labeled like there's crew quarter door?
It has Cyrillic on it, but I believe you're not very well versed in Russian letters. How do we determine? I think I gave you the names.
I'm not fluent. I have just enough basic understanding of like I can read the letters and go, oh, that's probably something maybe like this word.
Can you make
enough that I can navigate computer systems, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'll give you this. Make an observation roll, and then how ridiculous the result is based on this roll. If that makes any sense, the way I explained it.
Okay, so
and then we'll get to Pike.
Octavia's observation.
2 dice.
Not too bad.
There are 2 successes. That's worthy of figuring out that this has you. There's one word you're not entirely sure what exactly it means. It's kind of coming up as one of like 2 or 3 possible different answers. But there's another word that, if you didn't know any better, the first thing you could think of is food. Something to do with food or a place to eat.
Canteen.
Sure. Actually, that might very well be the Russian word.
Well, this is not the door I was looking for.
This is not the door you're looking for. That's not how
Nice.
a Jedi mind trick works, but close enough. All right, let's go. Let's go
Yes.
to Sergeant Pike in the computer mainframe. Mr. Pike, Sergeant Pike. God damn it! The
I
door
opened
is
the door.
closed.
He
I
opens the
opened the door.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting to see if you remembered that you had that banked, or not banked,
Oh.
but you
I
have
did.
Oh, I remember.
this
So yeah,
room.
after I forced the door open,
Yeah. Well, let me
Yeah, sorry, I
show you
stopped.
what happens here.
Okay.
So when you pop the door open, you could tell that part of the reason why the door is stuck closed is not just the fact that there is no power, but the fact that the room is basically flooded to about waist high. So it takes a moment to actually get the door to come free, and when it does, the two different water levels of the hallway that you're in, which is about shin to ankle, or excuse me, shin to knee, abruptly averages out with the computer mainframe room, which was hip deep. You are standing now basically waist deep in some really mucky, ugly water. There is the computer terminal, but it is dark and offline. But as you can see from the size of the room, like if there was a room that would have the flight recorder, it's probably in here.
Yeah, I'll look over again, and this is your boardroom.
Yeah, except my boardrooms are usually dry, and he's doing one of those like shaking his hands out because he had his hands down, and now his hands are just wet, and he's about to try to play with electronic stuff. Yeah, this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. I don't suppose you're gonna want to go down there into the base of this mainframe to pull out the flight recorder, huh?
If you give me enough to know what I'm looking to yank and how to yank it, I'll yank stuff.
So you have, and he's gonna explain this, but you have the computer tower or the computer monitor sitting on top of a platform that is basically a cylinder down to the floor. On one side of this, you'll see a panel. You just have to open the panel. The flight recorder should be inside. It's just a matter of getting in there, disconnecting a handful of wires and a couple of releases, and it should pop right out. I'll hold the flashlight because he does not want to get his expensive jungle safari clothes dirtier.
Fair enough. So
he is such a bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Pike doesn't have a problem with this. This guy's an office jockey. He knows this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pike will unclip the radio from his armor, and before he takes his helmet off, he'll net my comms are being handed again, and maintain OPSEC.
Click.
As soon
yes,
as you
Sergeant.
hear, as soon as you hear that, you hear the fumbling of a microphone, and then Cannon's like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, and I hand him my helmet and my radio, so at least if they need to reach us, they can reach him while I'm bobbing for apples here.
As we're walking through the
Bobbing
hallway
for apples.
corridors,
Bobbing for flight
I would
recorders.
tell him, Gannon, it means operational security. Being
Oh, I know
quiet,
that word.
except when we have to.
Oh, you want me to shut up now? Oh, got it. And he'll just stop talking. He'll take the helmet and the radio, and he'll set it on top of the monitor for Ivan. And then he has to suddenly jerk to catch it because, of course, the top of the monitor isn't entirely flat, so he has to find a way to balance the helmet so it doesn't fall into the water.
Then I'll take my salt pack off, and I'll just find some jagged piece of metal to hang it on, so it's not in the water.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna try to follow his directions and keep going into the murky and finding something to rip out of a wall.
Yeah.
Or
and he's standing there, and he's trying to hold a flashlight or whatever to help you out too. And every now and again, he's like, "Oh yeah, look under there. Look, go no, further around the corner. Right? You don't see it right there. I need heavy machinery roll."
Okay.
And we got 3 successes. That's pretty good. I almost didn't get the stream switched over fast enough for you to see that.
I would like to do it quickly and half the time it would normally take.
Okay. Well, let's see how long it takes you real quick, because I need to roll something.
Okay.
You can't half a single turn, so it takes a single turn. Sorry.
So is it just bop, yank, stand up?
I mean, it's almost what happens, except for while you're under there, I need you to take let's back up for a second. So as you're
Okay.
digging in this muck, in this water, and you find the panel that you have to kind of shove out of the way because it's wedged in there a little bit, you see the wires that you have to disconnect. You see the clamps that you have to release. And as you're pulling the actual flight recorder out, and you'll notice it's got like that. Usually flight recorders have I want to say they have like an orange color casing. You'll notice, of course, that this orange, it's not quite the same shade of orange that you would expect. Like whatever color you were expecting, maybe it's a little bit more red or a little bit more yellow, whatever the case might be. As you pull it out, there is a cloud of crawfish. Is probably the easiest way to explain it. Do you know what crawfish look like? Okay.
Yeah.
So this cloud of crawfish, except yes, that looked right there, Rodance. I saw that. It's like they come out from behind.
They taste okay, but picking them apart sucks.
So as you pull the flight recorder out, it's almost as if like you had just disturbed mud at the bottom of a lake or a river. This cloud of cloudfish just swarms up over you. I need you to take a point of stress for this.
Okay.
And you also need to make a panic roll on that new stress level, please. As you can imagine, this is a bit disconcerting. But you hold your shit together, because as shocking as this was, this sudden cloud of squirmy, illy antennaed fish squirming around you, in your process of attempting to get yourself reoriented, because you're not swimming in this water, but you are definitely down in it, as it were. You're basically fully submerged, I would imagine. Give me an observation roll, please.
I did decide for the other 6 I got on heavy machinery before we forget.
Sorry. Yes.
The first one was going to be to do it in half the time, and the other one was going to be to show off.
Okay. All right.
You need an observation roll?
Yes, please. You can show off in the observation roll if you like. And I totally forgot to have that switched over, but that was 2 successes total. Well, here's your chance to show off. Because you notice as you are reorienting yourself after the attack of the swarm buggy fish. Sorry, I just wanted to say it because it sounded funny in my head. You see in the dark water a dark, smooth, curved shape, and it seems to like. So first off, your head is roughly this size. This thing is it's like a curved cylinder about yay long and about as wide as my hands. And you see, and as you're kind of pushing and doing the swimming version of a back pedal so you can catch your footing again, you see this thing almost rotate / turn, revealing a menacing set of jaws that look like they have some not quite metallic-ish teeth on them, and it seems to be coming straight for you the more you try to push away.
Do I have enough on my observation to know if it's free floating or swimming?
Ooh, that's a great
With my
question.
extra success,
I'll tell you what,
I know that I'm
on
safe?
this note, you now need to make another panic roll, and based on the result of that panic roll, I will answer your question. Because for the moment, it definitely appears to be coming straight at you. But in this case, you keep your cool, and you realize that it is only your own motions that are disturbing the water, which then disturbs what apparently is some dead creature. It also reveals that there is much more to this than just this cylinder-ish thing, that the cylinder is actually something of the top of its head. And the lower form of it has been eroded, eaten away. The soft tissue has been devoured by presumably this swarm of cloudy, buggy, fishy things. But it looks like it definitely had some form of bipedal appearance at one point in time, but it's been dead for a while.
Okay. So I think
Very freaky, I might add.
Once Pike has got his feet back under him so he can stand up in the water, he'll abruptly come out of the water, so it throws water everywhere, just to be a dick about it.
He's got to be dramatic.
And one hand above the water will be the flight recorder, and the other he wants to be holding that thing.
Yeah, it's heavy. It looks a lot heavier than you would think when you first see it under the water. And when you lift it, you realize how heavy it is. You start to wonder if maybe it's just because it was heavier than it looked, or if maybe it was waterlogged. No,
Yeah.
this thing is, you've got enough of a skeletal, not skeletal, there's enough of its body left to determine that this thing easily stands close to 2 meters tall, or could stand close to 2 meters tall if it was, fully erect or whatever. No. 2 meters is 6 feet. So, yeah, we'll go with 2 meters. It easily can stand 2 meters tall. It looks like it probably had some sort of tail. And when I say tail, think of something the size and shape of a cat's tail versus like the big shaggy doggy tail. If that makes any sense at all.
Sure.
Almost whip-like. And it is also from the end of the tail up what appears to be the spine. Of course, it's all segmented vertebrae type joints. But of course, by the time you lift it up out of the water and you realize all this, it's dead, it's inert. A lot of its interior, for lack of a better thing to call it,
eaten out.
has been eaten out by, of course, all of this other stuff. And when you stand there, so you're basically T-posing with this orange, this off-orange flight recorder in one hand and this weird alien creature skeleton frame in the other. And Gannon's looking at you and he's like, he looks like he's literally about to pass out. He has gone first white and now green.
Oh my god.
He is out of it. He's like, what the fuck?
Gannon, stay up. Don't drown. Stay standing.
Fuck
it's dead. You're
that.
good. You're safe.
Fuck
you are
that.
Safe.
Put what? And he's backing
it,
very slowly.
So
He's backing very slowly away from you. And he thinks he's going to the door, but he's actually going to the wrong side of the room. He's actually going back here.
Hey, don't trip.
And yeah, as soon as you say that, right into the water. And now he's just straight panicking because now not only is he freaked the fuck out, now he's soaking ass wet, and his expensive ass jungle safari clothes are dirty as fuck.
I'm gonna take the flight recorder box and like stick it in the armpit of the arm that I'm dragging the body with, and use my now free hand to reach into the water and pull him out. New Hope style, just pull him out of the trash.
New Hope style. That's exactly what it feels like too.
Yeah.
The trash
compactor
scene.
Yeah. I'll reach in and I'll pull him out of the water.
Yeah, he's definitely sputtering. He is incomprehensible for a few minutes. Let's go to Winston and what's his name? Warren. For you
Okay.
spend several minutes, and in the distance you hear a little bit of clanking. You hear some splashing sounds. You hear something that sounds an awful lot like Gannon, stay calm, but you're not really sure of what you're hearing because you're also trying to grind this door open. And when you do, let me get to that section of my notes. It's, of course, I'm going right here.
We'll open the door.
Yeah, I'll open the door.
Okay.
Actually, slip you in so you can see everything. You are indeed. You have found the Mecca for your objective. There are something like 20 pods in various states of disrepair and corrosion, fogged over glasses, the glass coverings or whatever. They're like fogged over. There's one actually missing. You see over probably off this way as you do your search of this area. Yeah, somewhere off in that vicinity. That one of the pods was completely dislodged and shoved through the hole and ended up out in the jungle somewhere.
Okay.
And it looks like, by the way, to be clear, it looks more like it was done during the process of the crash than it was anybody trying to pull anybody out of here. And conveniently, it's the medic that finds the sleeper pods. So you can certainly take a look at these individual pods and see what's in here. I will say this.
Good news, Pike. We found the sleeper hypersleep pod bay. What do you want me to do?
I want to know how many are alive. We've got the flight recorder.
Excellent. I heard some
Status-
shuffling.
It was nothing.
Got it.
Gannon,
Do we
you
have a
hear Gannon in
status?
the background. It was nothing. This is $16,000 worth of gear wet, and I am soaked, and that thing is scary. What do you
Can
mean nothing? What the
can I
fuck
get
is that?
Gannon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. I know you
Nothing. Got it.
are. Can I get a status on the ship weapon?
Yeah, but we are actually still tracking that one down because we found what would probably be the canteen or kitchen. Got a bunch of crew quarters over on this side. Still looking for it. Do you? You need me to turn the power on for anything at the moment?
I don't need power for anything right now. I know some of the grease monkeys on the Sulaku talk about crawling inside the walls to find stuff. Have you found any maintenance crawl spaces that might help you find the gun?
Would either of my characters have noticed something like that?
You would
I
have
mean,
noticed ventilation shafts or the vents or what have you. I will say, maybe not necessarily in character until you do some investigation, but if you notice the off blue-white dotted lines, I'm imagining those are the.
I don't think we can see those
yeah, I don't think so either.
unless,
Yeah, I don't see those either.
like, I think I see the edge of one right here, and maybe the edge of some right here and here.
Yes, those are.
Oh wait,
yes.
no,
Yeah,
I
right
do
here.
see one. I see one at the back of sensor maintenance as well.
Yeah, those dotted lines right there that you can kind of sort of see there.
If you look for it, the border for the walls is the lighter
Yeah,
sort of green.
yeah.
There's little cubes that you can see.
They're little Pac-Man
Uh,
dots almost.
Yeah, those are the shaft entrances.
Yeah, so if you're close to a wall, you might be able to see it.
Should I roll something to figure out if anyone is alive?
No, you don't need to. Well, let me start with this. You don't need to just yet, only because you can see that of the 19 pods that are still in here, only 3 have light coming out of them. There are 3 tubes that are glowing faintly. Obviously, presumably these are active, and they must be on some sort of emergency power circuit. All of the rest are offline. They're half buried in mud and muck and vegetation and whatnot. And if you were to look at any one of them that don't have any power and try to like scrub the shit off of them, you'll notice that whoever was inside is certainly long gone because decomposition has begun a long time ago.
Got it.
And by a long time ago, sometime in the last 6 months. There are 3 with lights on still. We can randomly determine which 3, or we can just assume you're going to take a look at those 3.
So, Pike, we got some that still have lights on. Should I actually open them, or do you want me to just hold tight?
Sergeant Pike.
Sergeant Pike.
Sorry. This is Warhammer now. Sorry.
You're sure they're alive?
They seem to be on emergency power or something. I could open one, but I don't want to have that be a problem if they are going to wake up and reach combat status.
Yeah, we don't know if they're prisoners yet or not.
Yeah.
It seems that we're not going to get a clear answer on that quite yet, and I just sort of look over to look at Gannon when I say that, and if he says nothing, I just move on with the conversation.
I think what you get from Gannon, other than him trying to like clean water out of his ears or muck from, trying to wipe himself down or something, you just when you mention whether or not they're prisoners, he's kind of like, survivors was all I know.
All right, well, we're gonna keep them on ice. Actually, I do have something I want you to do. I want you to see if that emergency power is local to the pods. If it's not, we can try to get some sort of battery hooked up to them. I want to try to drag those 3 pods out. I want to know if you can make them mobile.
I'll do my best. Thank you, Sergeant Pike.
Give me an observation roll. Winston, that is.
Getting there.
I mean, I have already previously reported last week that we do have power.
Power
batteries.
is available. We just haven't
Yeah.
assigned it because you can only turn on 3 areas at a time. That's what the diagnostics gave you. Winston, I need that panic roll, please.
Absolutely.
As your
Yeah, Pike-
stress is just. I think Pike's saying that's Sergeant Pike. Oh dear, more panic.
So your stress goes up by 1, and Omar will just randomly delete an item from your sheet as it gets lost.
I will. Yes, I will. Let's see. What do I take from your inventory? I think I think what happens too is as you're going through you're taking your time looking through these sleeper pods, and you're trying to figure out like how is the power being provided? Can you make these into mobile, any sort of mobility platform, anything of that nature? And as you're doing that, something turns up.
God.
Oh God, how do I do this? Oh, here we go.
I think I already see where this is going.
Does he sit something down and lose it into the mud?
No, I think it's just as he's wandering, like at some point he has to like bend over and look under the pod to trace some of the power lines or something like that. He never notices that there is a very distinct sploosh sound right behind him.
Okay.
Your stress level increases by 1. It should have already. Yeah. You dropped your e-tool. I thought about taking away some of your medication that you're carrying, but I was like, nah.
Is this e-tool going to be your pair of pants?
Now I do have a question only because I want to make sure the instancing or what have you is correct. Can you look on Winston's character sheet under your screen and verify that the e-tool did drop off?
I don't see the e-tool.
Perfect. That sounds like everything is working as intended. Let's see. Winston. Inventory.
On the bright
Oh,
side,
yeah, that's gone.
that
It's
panic
gone.
condition does not supersede the event, so you do still succeed at the observation roll.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, you do. Looking around, one thing you notice right away is that these sleeper pods are virtually identical to the same model of sleeper pods on the Tambatam and other sleeper pods you've experienced in your Marine Corps career.
Can
And
I make conjecture of that?
It should be reminded that you are on what appears to otherwise be a UPP ship, but these are US CMC sleeper pods.
Seems like the same people are funding both sides of the war. I don't say to myself.
That is certainly one way to perceive it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So are they on wheels? Casters?
No. They are, from all intents and purposes, it appears as they are hard bolted to the deck of the ship, and the lines that feed them with power and whatever other, chemical lines, feeder lines, etc. They all appear to be hardwired into a central tank-ish thing above, like mounted to the ceiling. And then they have lines that run from this hub in the center of the floor, in the center of the ceiling, running along the ceiling to the walls, down the walls, and then down to the individual sleeper pods. I have no idea if that's exactly how it works, but it's canon now.
Sergeant Pike, it seems as if we don't take the room with us, these sleeper pods aren't moving anywheres.
All right. See if you can help Wescott out. I'm going to take Gannon down to the sleeper pods. Just give me directions.
Heading there now.
Yeah.
Do you know which direction they went? Wescott, do you know where they went?
That's one of those is while you're doing that, my character would also be doing things. So there's no way to tell you exactly where they are right now because of that.
Well,
I think you
Transition?
I think yeah. I think in the short version you could definitely explain that everybody is past this hallway at one side or the other, if not both. I think if you use that as a reference point, you could easily get somebody anywhere else, at least in this right half of the ship.
So I take a closer look at this door that's right in front of me. Is it
This one right-
labeled in any way?
This one right here.
Yep.
That I thought I was gonna ping but didn't. No, it is not. But the doors are relatively easy to open. Strangely, only because I'm getting tired of telling you guys the doors are difficult to open.
Okay, well, Watts will attempt to manhandle the door open.
It slides open relatively easy, and inside you see communal showers and toilet facilities flooded and overgrown.
Oh.
Sounds like the
Cool.
worst band name ever. Communal showers and Komodo dragons.
Okay. Well.
I'm looking through my notes to see what area you might want to head to for the railgun, but I think the
Well, I
railgun
know the
entry
railgun is on the north side of the outside of the ship.
That
And I
should
know-
be somewhere over here.
Yeah, the
I
railgun
think.
turret is this right here.
Yeah. So
You could try to crawl through the vent here in sensor maintenance. I think
Good.
that looks like it's the closest vent to where we think the gun is.
yeah, I think that's probably something Wescott would end up having to do because I think out of everybody on the team, she is by far the smallest person.
The other option too is if you look in the magazine, there's got to be feeder like some sort of feed line, for lack of a better thing to call it, that brings the round from the magazine up into the turret.
Yeah,
And-
so we'll loop back to the magazine and just eyeball what direction we think it's going.
Go ahead and reposition yourselves there. Oh, you already have. Okay. Let me find the entry for the magazine. And then we'll go to Pike. The maintenance hatch allows access to this magazine, which contains hundreds of tungsten rounds mounted in auto-loading racks for the railgun turret. And you do see that there is a maintenance hatch inside the magazine. Let's say it's here. That could lead into the railgun turret. However, looking at this and trying to piece it together, trying to figure it out, it looks like your best bet might be to, other than going outside the ship and repairing any physical damages out there, and then making sure everything works inside here in the magazine area, you might be better off going to either the power station or the computer mainframe insofar as attempting to operate the turret. And that information comes to you via looking at how various wiring conduits and how everything just basically comes together, for lack of a better way to explain it.
Click. Sergeant Pike, was there a functional computer terminal in the mainframe?
The answer to that question
Yeah,
is it appeared to be offline.
Yeah, the computer core appears to currently be offline and waist deep in water.
Shit. Okay. Well, I turn and I look at Watts and go, it looks like we get to go exploring through tiny little maintenance shafts.
Watts will look at you, by the way, and he will point out, or we could try the power station, provide power to the railgun turret, maybe get a schematic that can tell us where to stand to actually fire this stupid thing.
Yeah, I much prefer your suggestion. Let's try that one first.
Thank you, GM, for the reach out.
Yeah, so I will wander them back over to the power station.
Okay. Pike, you are heading down to the sleeper bay, correct?
Yeah. So
Alright.
we know that Team Medic is. Oh my God! Let me move. Let me move it all. Let me stop.
I think you have to
colliding
open the
with walls.
door. I think the door got closed.
Oh, okay.
That's so
Um,
silly, funny, but also that's how that works in real life.
yeah, I'm just so used to having all the rights and privileges of somebody who doesn't care about
Right.
collision.
Yeah.
So we know that Team Medic is also headed to the power station to meet up with Winston.
Are they? Okay, I must have missed that part, but please continue.
Because I think Pike wanted. I mean, Pike gave them the instructions to go meet up with Winston.
Go help them out
yeah.
or something. That's
Yeah,
right.
to help
that's
them
right.
out because his task was done.
Yeah.
It's also to make sure that it's only Pike and Gannon in the hyper sleep.
Are you gonna close the door, throw his ass in a hyperpod, and leave him?
No, not quite. Not that the thought hasn't occurred to Pike,
I'm
but
sure
no,
it
he's not
has.
going to.
The murderous son of a bitch that Pike is.
Yeah. He's constantly thinking of ways to kill people around
I'm
him.
sure he is. In the way that other people are like, if a firefight breaks out right now, what do I do? Right now. Right now. Pike is like, I could kill you 6 different ways right now, as we're speaking about how I can kill you 6 different ways, right?
I mean, people are delicate.
Yeah.
Bodies are fragile.
So yeah,
There are many a thin place without much flesh or padding or armor.
Indeed.
So yeah, Pike brings Gannon here and then just sort of gestures at the lit up pods and says, whether they're POWs or not, they're survivors. My orders are to try to get them out of here. But I will give you the opportunity, without having to give me any more details, to give a recommendation of whether they're waking up or not.
I think Gannon takes a moment to peruse the scene, and he says, I don't know what their status is. If they wake up, my understanding is that they will have information that will help us out tremendously. Strategic information, if you will, about this frontier war that is currently brewing. So
That's all
if we
good news to
have
me.
the option, we must take them back. I feel like that is almost as imperative as bringing back the flight recorder. In fact, further, because I think I just said in fact a second ago, I think the flight recorder data and the information that these individuals have may corroborate each other to such a degree that from a strategic level, it is imperative this information makes it back to whatever the UA command group is called.
But Gannon, I don't need any encouragement to follow my orders. My orders are to secure survivors and get them out. I'm going to do it. I'm giving you, without having to tell me anything extra, do you have a problem with me waking them up and walking them out?
I feel like that would be the best course of action. I don't know if he would use those words, and probably not that tone right now, because he is feeling all sorts of icky and certainly a bit spooked out of his mind right now, especially since you brought not living, a dead alien corpse out of the water with you.
I've definitely taken some of that climbing rope and I've tied it to my back and I'm dragging it around. It's coming with us.
This is my trophy now.
Like me
I
and
will
that
call
fish.
him Mark.
This is my Wilson. It has metallic teeth.
God.
And again, Pike, you also notice, as you yourself are spending a moment or two looking around and gauging the situation, that these are indeed, short of somebody having the letters USCMC stenciled on the side of one of these pods, these are very much Colonial sleeper pods. Colonial Marine sleeper pods, I should say.
Yeah, I guess I'll look in and see what they're wearing.
It's difficult to see. You get a good look, basically, you get the bust view, right? So, just a few inches below the neck. What you do see, however, is on each of these 3 individuals that you look at is what appears to be some sort of breather mask attached to their face. And there is a barcode that, while it's obvious it's a barcode because of how the stenciling works for a barcode, you can't make out necessarily any numbers through the hazy discoloration of the canopies.
It is the barcode on a shirt, or is it tattooed?
It's on the shit. Where is it written? I just saw it. The barcode is on the breath mask up towards. So if you imagine the breath mask cutting up like this, it is tattooed, or not tattooed. It is stamped right at the very top. I don't know if that helps answer your question or not. I feel like it did, but now I'm wondering if I don't remember everything.
No, it did.
You do see a couple of numbers, and the easiest ones maybe to see, just because of how people are positioned, is just you see a something -07 -08 and -09 on these 3 individuals. That is 7 on one, 8 on the other, 9 on the other.
Okay. I want to go to one of these pods that are not lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if if all these corpses have face mask rebreather things on.
That's a great question. strangely, it doesn't seem to specify that in the notes. But it does definitely seem that these bodies are decayed, and if there were a breather mask, or rather, let me rephrase that. So either they didn't have a breather mask, or perhaps the breather mask fell off as the body started to gradually, decompose, all the different things that can happen during decomposition. But either way, that breather mask is no longer on the face. So it could be inside the tube with it, or it never even had one on there. It's difficult to tell because, of course, the ones that are dead are not lit up, and it's pretty dark in here. And, of course, completely unhelpfully, your flashlight is bouncing right off of the canopy.
Yeah. I don't know what those masks are. I don't know if we've got some sort of egghead concern here or not. I don't want to open up any of those other ones as well to try to get a better idea. So
As you say you don't want to open up anymore, you hear the very distinct and subtle hiss of a canopy sliding open. And Gannon does one of these. I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't touch the fucking thing. He's not even standing next to it. He's standing next to the one next to it. He's like, I don't know what the fuck that was. I didn't do it.
Guns up. I'm pointing the pulse rifle right at that tank.
Yeah.
And I'll key up my mic. Possible contact investigating. In cryo.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm looking for. Okay. Yeah. This guy, he starts to wake up. He's stirring. You hear the groan, and you hear the, I guess, suffocate, choke type sound. And then you hear, or you see an arm and a hand come up, and he takes this weird leathery breath mask. That was almost horrible. Pulls it off his face, and it almost has, as you can see it come up, because I imagine your flashlight is lighting him up pretty well right now with your weapon pointed at him. This mask comes up, and there's this thin tube that comes down. It extends down several inches. Almost looks as if it was down his throat to help him breathe or some silliness. And he just
Pike's
pulls
seen
it
things
off.
like that before.
What's that?
Pike's seen things like that before.
Yeah. So he pulls it off. He drops it lazily almost, and then he just goes straight into a coughing fit. And it takes him a moment to collect himself. And we will leave that scene there for a moment. We're gonna go check in with Corporal Wescott. I think is next. Is that right? Is Wescott next?
Well, I'm assuming we'd have a moment to do action things before we hear King Kiep. So, do I have my other fire squad minions with me now?
I believe all four of you are together, yes. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Yeah, I
but
was heading
Pike?
there.
Okay. So, Watts, please do work on powering up the gun turret, see if we can get a schematic from that. Let's see. Let's see. Warren and yeah,
Bear with me
Winston.
1 sec. I'm gonna try to refresh. My connection with the Foundry may have gotten a little wonky.
Mhm.
So let me refresh
So
it real
this
quick.
door that's just north of us, I want you to go pop it just to double check to see if it's like a food or a canteen or something of that nature. I'm gonna start investigating the doors here in the central hallway.
Got it.
Alright, so just so I can keep up. So you're sending Watts and Winston up here?
Mhm.
I was a little bit off.
Yeah, I
where
want them to
wanted.
pop the door that's next to the magazine because I'm assuming that's probably some version of a kitchen, but I want to confirm that the assumption based on the text. Watts is ordered to start working on powering up the gun, and then I will be checking the door labels here in central access hallway to see if either of them have any indication of what they might be.
Sorry, I'm trying to find all of the people. I've got Wescott. I've got
They're here.
Warren.
We're all here in
Nope,
the
here's
same
Watts.
middle section.
Yeah, I lost one, I think.
No.
Oh no,
they're
I
right
see
there.
Winston now. Okay, never mind. Winston's a little bit more difficult to find because he's got that winged snake thing. Okay, so we have Wescott is just down the hallway. You're wanting to check out this area?
Door labels.
These two door labels, they seem to have the same Cyrillic letters except one word and both of them aren't the same. So let me rephrase that. 3 words for one door, 3 words for the other door. 2 of
Two
those
words in
3
common.
2 words are common, correct. And you're not
Okay.
really sure what those words are.
This is what I get for not choosing to take that extra damn language class.
Yeah, you know, that
Are
free one
either-
at the University of Maryland University College.
Yeah, right?
Or the other one, the University of, what is it, the University of South New Hampshire or something like that?
Some equally ridiculous, I didn't really have the time or resources in my background to dedicate to it problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would check to see if either of these are easy open doors, if I'm going to have to
You're going to need,
attempt to
you're
handle one of
gonna-
them.
you're going to manhandle them, but they don't feel like they're terribly difficult, but it's going to take more than your normal, like, oh, does the doorknob turn?
Yeah, well, I will try popping one door with
Okay.
my non-existent heavy machinery, so it's literally a strength 2 check.
That is a success.
I pick the north one.
Okay. You see in here, let me just see if there is. There is. This dark space is filled with aluminum cargo boxes tumbled and scattered like a child's toy bricks. There are what appears to be shipboard supplies, but most of it is either rusted, rotten, or spoiled.
Or looted.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There is a
cargo
work
hold.
terminal in there of some sort.
Okay. Well, found cargo deck. At least that's somewhat useful. I think the next door that
Let
I
me
know
rephrase
of.
that. It is technically an access terminal, but yeah, there is something of a
Yeah.
computer terminal in here.
Okay. Well, that's my action then. I mean, I don't
Okay.
find anything particularly fascinating about this.
What was Watts doing? He was trying to turn the power on or something?
Yes, to the gun to see if it comes with a schematic once he turns it on.
Let me double check the power station notes to see what it says exactly. No, you guys already made that heavy machinery roll to fix and
Yeah.
turn power on. So
Oh, we've already repaired it. We just
Yeah,
chose
yeah,
not to turn
exactly.
anything on yet.
right. So, excuse me. You get power, it comes on, and you apply power to the automated railgun turret. Let me double check what I have for it specifically. And what you receive back is a bunch of Russian letters and some warning lights. Watts comes back to you with something about a bunch of Russian words and a couple of red lights that look like either damaged physical damage or something wrong with some of the perhaps the cable lines or power lines, I should say.
Okay, well, turn it back off just so we don't accidentally electrocute ourselves.
Yes, that would be a great idea. There's a lot of water, I'm sure you've noticed. I
Yep.
mean, there's enough water to sustain a fish lifestyle in here right now. And he smirks. I don't know if you could hear that in his. I mean, you can usually hear when somebody smirks if you're not standing there looking at them. But he's definitely being a bit of a smartass right now.
Yeah, his next order will probably. Oh God, there are so many things I could order him to go do right now, but it's not my turn to do so.
Yeah. I think we're over to Winston and Watts now. Winston, you were sent into this quote-unquote cantina, so that somehow your character is inside, despite the door being right there. So let's put him right here. I can't even move you for some reason. Why can't I move you? There we go.
I mean,
That's fine. Yeah, you end up going inside the mess hall. Let me see what kind of notes we got in here for the mess hall.
Are we gonna Scooby Doo it and like make a big old sandwich?
No, we're not gonna do that.
Oh,
It's tempting. I know.
If you made a sandwich out of stuff in there, you might have to make a stamina check.
You're definitely gonna.
I
have to
would
stand.
definitely.
Definitely gonna. Flooded crew wreck area and canteen. There's plastic cups and plates floating in oily water. and there are thick vegetation growing out of all of the kitchen units. So just picture a bunch of like microwave, little stovetop surfaces, like the individual burners, and various other things, and it's just vegetation growing through all of it, and then water up to your knees or more. It's got kind of an oily sheen at the top. Yeah, if you tried to eat anything in here, you don't even have to make a stamina check. I'm just gonna say you're gonna be dead in 1d6 days.
Yeah, 1d6 days. That's generous of you.
I know.
Wait until you're on day 4 and you wish you had died on day 1.
Yeah, right?
Well,
And you still have another whole day to go. You got stuff coming out of either end of you, and none of it's pleasant.
All right. So anything really that I see? I guess nothing's really relevant
No,
from here.
it's pretty much this is no pun intended, but it's pretty much a wash in here.
Okay. Well, it's a mess. We're gonna get
That's
out
a
of here.
better
Lee.
pun.
All right, moving on.
All right, Pike, you have this dude waking up in the hypersleep bay.
Oh, but because at the end of this is when he would yell when he'd go like, "Hey, I got contacts," and I would go,
Yeah.
click, redirect to support Pike.
Ah, there you go. Okay, so you want to send Winston and
Yeah,
Warren?
I send them to verbal order of head towards Pike's location.
All right, and
But
what do you
it's
want to
not
do
my
with?
turn for us to actually move.
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
way
What do
yet.
you want to do with Warren though? Or is he going to help Pike as well?
I say that collectively to my 3 people.
Okay. All right, so all 4 of you then. All right. Pike.
Contact prioritizes.
No, that's
So
fair.
I'm pointing,
That's fair.
Pointing the pulse rifle at this guy.
Yeah, he has
And,
just had a massive coughing fit. It sounds like he's coughing probably for like 2 or 3 minutes straight. Spits up a few things a couple of times, finally catches his breath, and just looks over. He's like, "Could you please take that light off my face? I really appreciate that." And
Is he speaking in English?
Yeah, this is in English.
Okay.
I was just gonna say his English comes out pretty clean.
Okay.
It's probably got some sort of accent on it, but you can't quite place it because I didn't think of one.
Once I have an
That's
idea of
upsetting.
who you are, we can talk about being polite.
Dude, I don't think these fuckers even have a god. Let me double check real quick.
You mean to tell me that they can recognize Sergeant Pike here as being an American, and speak immediately in English at them, but they don't have a name?
I'm telling you, as the GM, these guys may not have been given names. There is an in-character reason that you're going to get in a moment. I'm just looking to see
All
if
right.
they actually have.
They have designated titles or call numbers or
Yeah,
barcodes, if nothing else.
they have the.
That might
barcodes.
accidentally
here we
just
go.
be 7.
It was 8, but they don't know that yet.
At least we didn't wake up 47.
Nice.
Yeah, no, he your last line was something about we'll be polite after we figure out if you're a threat or something along those lines, I believe.
It's like, oh, once I know who you are, we can talk about being polite.
He sits there and he kind of like he's sitting in this cryopod, kind of half upright, maybe leaning a little bit to one side, because he's still in the pod and he kind of has to extract himself out of it. And he's kind of looking at his hands and catching his breath, and he does this, wipes his face. I know nothing. Where the hell am I? What the hell is going on here?
All right, buddy. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to sell me on why I shouldn't just have you cuffed up and dragged around for the safety of the rest of my men.
Who are you?
Sergeant Pike, USCMC.
Oh, thank God. Well, I mean, at least you're speaking English. That guy, I think, was Russian? Spanish? I don't know. There's a world of difference between those 2 languages, by the way, but he may not know that.
Yeah, we saw Russian letters on the walls, whatever they're called.
I think the word is sort of like, I don't know. My head is really foggy right now. Holy crap. And he goes to try to stand up, and I think he ends up actually falling over and into the muck. And he just kind of
I'm not helping him up. I'm keeping the gun pointed at him.
Do you at least go over to keep like a clean line of sight so you can see him?
Yeah. And I like let go with my support hand to like gesture for Gannon to like back up to a wall.
Yeah. Gannon
As I
definitely
move over to keep the rifle trained on him, and I'm like,
Gannon's definitely got a bit of a horrified, like, oh my god, what the fuck is even going on right now? Look, when you come around the bend or whatever, and you get that clear line of sight out, and you see this dude, he's just laying there, flat on his back. He's like, fuck my life. This is bullshit. I don't even know what I did to deserve it. Well, no, I know what I did. This is bullshit. No matter. You're not even gonna help me out. That's amazing. Awesome. Okay. Listen, I know you think I'm a threat, or I know you're trying to clear the threat. It's what you tactical goons do. It's fine. It's whatever. And he's like slowly trying to pull himself up onto his feet.
okay.
And then once he finally gets somewhere upright, he's like, "Can I just get a drink of water?" My mouth. It is. I don't know if it was a cat or a dog or a dinosaur, but whatever it did in my mouth, it's horrible.
Gannon, can I have one of your waters?
No, that's my water. Glug, 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 glug. Fine. He can have the rest. I don't want it back.
Yeah. Here. This is for you and your friends when we wake them up, so don't be a greedy ass.
Oh, it's gone. He's already like if he takes like his first mouthful is to get rid of that taste in his mouth, and he spits it out, and then he chugs what's left. Which Gannon didn't give him a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because Gannon's been downing water left and right.
Yeah. We're still on your 30 seconds there, friend.
I guess you were serious. All right, I'm not a threat. Look, and he turns. He does the T-pose, and he slowly turns around. I got nothing on me, and he's wearing basically just a simple ass jumpsuit. It's like all one tone. It's kind of yellowish. You can't tell if it was ever any other color, but it's yellowish, faded, dirty. He has no hair, and you notice as he turns around, at the base of his neck is another barcode.
Do you say you don't remember why you're here? Do you remember your past life?
It's kind of hazy.
You know,
Roll
we usually-
observation. Roll observation. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a better skill for you to roll to tell if somebody's telling you bullshit or not.
That's manipulation.
Well, I would roll manipulation, wouldn't I?
It's manipulation versus manipulation.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let me see what this guy's got here.
I mean, I don't have shit, so
Apparently, I could just do whatever I want. I gotta find his actual character sheet, so give me just a second. I had it open a minute ago.
Oh gosh.
Here we go.
Pike's already made up his mind about this guy, so
Oh yeah.
he's just sort of we're just sort of
I'm
going
surprised
through
he
the
doesn't have
motions.
bullet holes yet.
Yeah.
If
Well,
we didn't
so
have orders to extract survivors, I would have just shot him as he got out of the pod. So
yeah. So this guy's like, he's gonna ride that hazy train. See what I did there. He's gonna ride that hazy train for a little while. It's not coming back to me, man. Yeah. I've heard if you've been under for a long, long time, that it could take a few days for your memories to come back. The last thing I remember was somebody yelling in Russian or Spanish or Portuguese, some Eastern Slavic. I don't know what the language was.
Sure. All right, so put your hands back on the pod.
Are we really gonna do? I'm not going anywhere.
All right,
And he does. To be clear, he's saying this as he puts his hands on the pod. He's very much disgruntled about this.
Yeah. Here's your one-time deal. You do what I say, and I promise you, I will get you off this planet and back into UA hands. All right.
That's all I want. That's all any of us wanted. And he looks around. I think this is like his first time noticing that of the 20 pods, only 2 others have any light on them. And he's like, "You gotta be fucking. You gotta be shitting me."
Well, congratulations. You and 2 friends are the lucky ones who get a ride out.
That is no consolation. You're gonna wake them up, right?
That's the plan. As long as you don't waste any more of my time, I'll get to waking them up.
Can we say this is about the time where the rest of us walk in?
Sure.
Please?
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
The medic is not allowed to walk through the door first. Just so we're clear.
Say that one more time. I missed something.
The medic,
medic isn't
is
first.
not allowed through the door first.
As I
I'm going
hear
through the door
people,
first.
as I hear people coming in behind me, I'm keeping my eyes on this guy and my rifle, and I just say out loud, "Anybody got cuffs?"
I don't think anybody does.
Watts chimes up, going, "I got this lovely wire right here."
There is that wire.
Oh,
You guys did grab like I want to say 30 feet or some shit like that.
All right.
But the minute you say that, and he realizes that you guys actually do have a way to restrain him, he's like, "No, come on, man. I need my hands. You know it's a jungle out there, right?" Actually, no, he wouldn't know it's a jungle out there. Hold on.
He would say something along the, "You see how much of a hot mess the inside of the ship
Yeah,
is?"
yeah. Like this is just. I need my hands to keep from falling over and bashing my head. Come on, man. Have a little bit of compassion.
Yeah, your compassion.
Come on, Pike. Have some compassion.
Yeah, your compassion's going to be chaperones. Remember our deal.
Sergeant Pike, sir, do we need them reviewed by the medic?
Winston, Warren, I want you to wake up the other two. I want them restrained, and after you take a look at them, Winston, the two of you are on chaperone duty.
You hear
All
this
right.
very disappointed groan come out of this dude's mouth.
Hey, you keep groaning. I'll
Chaperone
change my
duty?
mind and forget you woke up.
Dude, why? He looks over at Wescott and is like, "Is he always like this?" Which is funny to me because
She
Wescott's
doesn't
like,
even
"I don't know.
respond to it.
I don't
She
know.
just,
I just
she
met the
looks-
guy the other day."
Yeah, she doesn't even respond to the question. She just does water check and says that out loud and expects people to sound off with the amount of water in their supply at the moment.
That's a great answer. Great.
She has
great response.
4. Watts
Okay.
has 3.
Okay. Cannon's like, 2, I think.
You're good, Gannon. You're good.
Winston is 1.
You say I'm
and
good.
Warren is 4.
You say I'm
Okay.
good, but this mouth keeps drying out.
You'll be fine. The rest of your
she-
water's yours.
Yeah, no. She pulls 1 unit of her 4 waters and hands it to the medic, going, "I have a feeling you're going to need this." She looks at Warren. If more is needed for whatever reason, you get to pony up a chunk.
All right, are we waking these individuals
Got
up?
it, Corporal.
Yeah. Those
Alright.
two are waking up. I want them restrained. I want the medic to check them out and then keep them in here, keep them out of trouble. Don't tell them what we're doing here. When we get a shuttle out, they get a ride. Let me know if they're uncooperative.
Got
You're
it, sir.
good. Wait. You're still wandering around and then, oh my god. And then 8 shuts up after a while. He just kind of finds some dry pod to sit on top of because he's got nothing better to do while he's being effectively detained. 7 and 9 go through a very similar process of waking up. The pods open. They pull this leathery, weird mask off of their faces with the little dangly bit. It looks like it was down their throat or whatever, and they toss it off the side. Spend several minutes coughing and spitting, and one of them actually throws up, like legit vomit. Which has got to be horrible because if they've been under for as long as this other guy has insinuated, that it's nothing but stomach acid.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna tell him like, okay, well, glad you still had something in there, but we're
Nope.
gonna have to start moving
That
soon.
The answer you get back is like, cough, cough. Nope, that was, oh god, that was horrible. Ugh.
This is why I
This is
gave the
what-
medic an extra water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pike
This
is
is
pretty,
works.
as you know, as they start to look around and start to talk, Pike gives them the same, like, I'm Sergeant Pike. I'm with the USCMC. If you cooperate with my medic's orders, I will get you off this planet. If you become a pain in our collective ass, I'll forget you woke up.
I think ultimately the three of them, they kind of huddle up in one area and like whatever the driest surface is, and they just kind of lounge, for lack of a better thing. Like, it's not even lounging because they're not comfortable at all, especially if they've got their hands tied in any way.
Bound up with wire, which is
not
which
comfortable.
sucks.
Which is not comfortable at all.
Hey, I watered them at least. I feel like I should get
Watered
cookie
them.
points
What
for
are
that.
what are they? What are
Do
they?
you use
Plants?
fertilizer too?
The fertilizer,
hey,
you're
hey.
standing in it,
I
buddy.
want them to be able to walk out of here under their own power, which does mean, dealing with basic human necessities like being fed and watered and sleep.
It's sleep. That has different connotations among some people.
I mean,
Alright, so do I
know
notice
exactly
anything
what I
amongst
said
them?
there.
No, they all have virtually identical barcode tattoos. It's 3 guys. They have no hair on their heads. It's been shaved off. Virtually identical. The only numbers that are different are the last 2 digits, 07, 08, and 09. None of them claim to know even their name, and they're all riding the aforementioned, if you've been under for a really long time, it can take a while for your memories to come back. None of them have any clear memories. The best you can get between the 3 of them, one says that the last thing they remember was somebody yelling at them in Russian. One of them remembers being put in the tube and that breath mask being put on them. But even then, they're not sure if that was an actual memory or if it was a dream. And the other one is just like, I got nothing. Nothing. But there's a tone when he says the word nothing that is a little bit different than everybody else's I got nothing.
Yeah, Pike's
How long
moved
do
on.
I spend with
It's
these
his problem.
people?
I believe from Pike's
I'm
orders.
leaving you with them.
Yeah, I think you're now
You're
permanently
now their
attached.
permanent babysitter.
Yeah, you
but,
can ask. You
so
can interview as much as you want.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, so I've got some time with them. We're sitting down. Medic is trying to do some empathy on them. Where it's like, okay, guys, I'm actually glad that we found some of you guys alive and somewhat American, so that's great. But
At least English speaking.
I'm Canadian.
yeah,
What are you
somewhat
talking
American.
about? I think actually one of them, 7, in fact. He's gonna be like, fuck that, I'm Canadian, eh? I cannot do a Canadian accent right now. I'm laughing too much.
Well, I don't know what that's about, but we'll get a bagel later. But okay.
God, I really wanted to make a Tim Hortons joke right there.
God, I miss Tim Hortons, man.
Uh,
South thing just does not have as good of coffee
All right,
No,
yeah.
it's
or
true.
donuts. Frankly, it's kind of
Excuse
sad.
me.
So I'm gonna pull empathy on them, see if they start opening up amongst themselves or amongst the medic.
Well,
while
first, if you want to do empathy, make an empathy roll.
Wait, I
Yep.
feel like this is manipulation.
Yeah,
okay,
manipulation.
it's
Yeah,
manipulation.
yeah, because you are trying to get information out of them.
Okay. All right.
See if they relax with the calm, helping presence of a medic.
Yeah, as the
Yeah,
the other
exactly.
4
That's
wander
maybe-
off to do
A towering, threatening asshole has left the room.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, another one! Jesus, Winston, make that stress roll, my friend, or panic roll.
Well, yeah, that's
I
happening.
think the
but,
barcode is setting him off. The fact that they're all like wearing this. Oh my God, you're frozen.
Oh my god.
Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range. So you and Winston increase your. I'm sorry. Warren, thank you. Stress level goes up. Winston's will go up automatically, I believe, and then the other one you have to add. You are effectively you start having this conversation, and it slowly dawns on you. I think you get the conscious realization that there is more here than what you can fathom right now. And it shows in the fact that they all are wearing matching jumpsuits that have no clear visible markings on them, but they're all the same style, pattern, cut, whatever. They all 3 have a barcode. All 3 of them have their heads shaved. That there's something very wrong, and it's a primal instinct that something is really fucking wrong, and it's got
nefarious even.
Yeah, exactly. It's that some sort of primitive instinct of survival that is kicking in right now, but it's also got you frozen in place because you can't figure it out consciously what is going on right now. You've got you've got all the pieces of the puzzle in front of you, but you cannot make the picture come any more clear, and it's got you locked up.
Unfortunately, that does supersede the roll.
Yeah.
Yes. So
they
you
noticed
have you have Warren with you, and Warren is the idiot galactic cross hero. I think what's Warren's stress at right now?
5.
I think Warren sees you freeze up, and he's looking at these 3 guards, or excuse me, these 3 rescues. He is completely oblivious to it all.
With wits of 2, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think even with that, like he also GM dice or GM hand waving here. I think he's oblivious to something, but I think he's also picking up on some of the cues. He's just not freezing up like you are. As a counter, I got 2 successes. 7, or excuse me, 8, the one that woke up first. 8 says, "Hey man, hey, are you all right? Are you okay? You don't look so good. Listen, help why don't you untie us and maybe we can like get you to like sit down and relax for a moment or something. You just went like 6 shades of white, man. I didn't even know that was physically possible."
I just need some air. And he's going to break order.
So I did pass the manipulation roll against the one that you effectively failed.
Okay.
I will allow you to determine whether or not that's sufficient to actually untie him, but he is definitely coming up to you and attempting to do exactly what he just said, except his hands are still bound.
Okay. What do you think? A 50-50 on whether or not he panics, gets out the room, or unties them?
Yeah, I could see him going either way, because either way he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. And honestly, if anyone's going to be the tender-hearted character, I think it's going to be Leland.
I think the medic.
Yeah, but he has seen some people strung up already.
But that also set him back a little bit too. He was not happy with that. And these guys are
so
you know, this is not these what guys he volunteered for.
In Winston's mind, these guys are survivors of a horrific crash. And regardless of everything else, these people survived a crash. They appear to be American. They need to be repatriated. And now they are your personal responsibility right here and right now. Something isn't adding up. You can't figure it out. This guy seems to be genuine in his approach of like, hey, yo, you're like 17 different ways of pale. Maybe you need to sit down and drink some water or something. Maybe eat something. I don't know. But like, here, untie me. Let me help you. And he seems entirely genuine about it.
Can I roll a d6 and then do a 50-50 on it?
Sure.
All right. If I fail the roll, he unties them.
Okay, so 3 or less?
Yeah.
Well, let's see how this roll. Oh, let me switch over. Okay, I think so. They stay tied.
But does Winston just walk off into the hallway and outside for a minute?
I think
and leave Warren there by himself?
I think this is what happens. Winston starts to untie 8's hands. Warren, remembering his last words from Pike and remembering briefly, he even catches like something of a flashback of being chased up and down the corridors of the Tampa Dam and realizes, no, Pike said leave them tied. This is not what Pike said, and I must do what Pike said, or otherwise he's going to castrate me or eviscerate me or whatever. And so Warren stops Winston. Winston, instead of freezing, you walk off. And if this was Pendragon, your character would be out of scene for a while because you have effectively had a bit of madness. So you just walk off because you don't know how to take, like, it's too much. It's too much. You literally feel like you need some air. So you're probably actually going to start moving towards the access, to the exterior of the ship, in fact. And Warren is left alone. And when we come back next week, we will find out what happens from that.
Oh, Winston is not going to have a good day when we get back to the ship.
No.
Let me put some tokens on the board real quick just to mark these 3.
Hey, look, at least you get this week worth of pay. Next week might not be the case.
All right, let's start doing our end of session stuff. So we need to open still, which means our first step is experience points.
Well, on the bright side, the three of them are still tied up.
Hang on 1 second.
On the
guys.
bright side, yeah.
In your room, maybe? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. All right, experience points. Did you participate? That's a no-brainer. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your agenda? I don't think anybody really risked or sacrificed anything tonight.
I committed us to the incredibly dangerous and not at all necessary ambush on the UPP.
This is true. This is true. So Pike can take a point for that. Did you risk your life for your buddy PC? Eventually, we're going to get buddies determined, but...
Well, no. My buddies are indeed listed, and Watts has a rival, and neither of those occurred.
Okay. Luke or Kane?
Pike took a pretty aggressive stance in that negotiation with the local tribal leader.
Yeah, huh?
It was very much like, hey, I'm not gonna, yeah, I strung your people up. Yeah, they shot at me first. Well, like he definitely put himself out there to start a gunfight outside the ship while Wescott was inside. He put himself in front to try to deal with a potential threat.
Questionable. I'll allow it.
Hey, the last time the building I was standing in got racked by an RPG, so...
Yeah, and without trying to do anything janky about it, Pike walked into what was presumably an obvious ambush if the conversation went badly.
Oh, yeah.
To do it.
Yeah. Because while you didn't see two of the bodyguards or whatever, you definitely saw the one. You didn't get a good look at him. Nobody actually looked at him to see what he was carrying, but it's safe to bet he was carrying some sort of firearm on him, at the minimum.
Yeah.
Did you challenge or stand up to your rival? I had the Tigers playing in the background on that particular line.
Yeah, I think I'll have a rival next session.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Winston? Or is it going to be
It might
Warren?
be. It's probably going to be one of the two of them.
So Watts currently is in a rivalship with Leland.
Watts and
Yeah.
Winston, huh? Okay.
Yeah, so Winston has Pike and Watts as rivals.
Okay.
I can only have one though, I know, right?
Yeah.
You can only get the benefit of a rivalry ship with one of them.
Correct.
All right,
That's
well,
the best way
it's
to phrase it.
It's definitely Pike.
Oh yeah, that absolutely makes sense from our narrative so far. That Winston would have something against Pike right now, especially because of the three bodies that were strung up so callously.
Yeah.
Not to mention maybe some other
Threatening these
decisions.
people that we were here to rescue and all kinds of stuff.
Well, yeah,
He's
I mean,
walking around with this corpse strapped on his back right now.
Yeah, that's right. He is. I forgot about that. He is wandering around with an alien body on his backpack. All right, for everybody that had to make a panic roll, I think there was at least 3 people that had to make a panic roll. That was Pike, one of Luke's, and one of Rose, but it may be more than that. If you made a panic roll,
I don't think Wescott made a panic roll today. I think it was just Watts.
Okay, that sounds right. I
Warren
feel like
didn't, but
Luke.
Winston does.
But
Winston and Warren both did one.
okay, and I know Pike had to roll one. At least I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah, you did have to roll. You had to roll
2.
Yeah, you had to roll 2 because of the alien that you're now carrying. Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? I don't think we necessarily had any truly dangerous moments. Well, no, I take that back. There was the firefight at the beginning that was incredibly abbreviated.
That I wasted the automatic fire.
So Pike, I'll do this. Pike and Watts can take a point for that because they did engage violently with the fish that were attacking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unfortunately, Wescott did not get a chance to act because Sergeant Pike saved everybody's lives from these stupid fish.
Oh, I mean, actually, that might be his better use of the buddy point of he defeated an enemy in a room that was threatening me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? Yes, and I will give this one to everybody because you achieved one of your 2 major objectives so far, which is the recovery of the flight recorder. So everybody will take a point for that one.
We also have an unknown life form corpse that I'm carting out.
That is also true.
And I did
That
find
will
the
absolutely
thing.
not be taken up by scientists, by science people to do things completely off screen that we'll never hear from again. What'd you say, Luke?
I did find the hypersleep bay.
Yes, and the 3 people that were sleeping inside.
Yeah.
We had good movement on our stuff today when we didn't really have all that much last week.
Yes, we
Yeah.
actually progressed the overall storyline for this mission a little bit here tonight. So, or I should say a little bit more this week than we did last week, but that's fine. Because I think we ended a little bit early last week because of reasons. 2 final questions. Did you perform an extraordinary action of any kind? I will now hear arguments for. I don't believe we have anything specific as far as extraordinary.
Can I can make an
extraordinarily
argument
panicked.
for pulling out the most ridiculous cliched role of I'm just gonna go down and then I'm gonna come up and T-pose.
With both things, it's like, yep, we're good. Like as soon as I go under, he's like, it's right over there. Yank. Hey, I felt this too.
Yes, I think if we're going for what is the most ridiculous accomplishment for today, that might be it in the positive sense.
You got the gold
Leland's
achieve.
got the oh dear God, why moment over there going for him.
You got the
Yeah,
gold
I got
achieve.
the 10 panic.
Yeah, you got the gold achieve for completing your mission in less than the minimum time. And thus your trophy is the alien corpse.
Yeah. My Wilson.
Your Wilson. Australia says, by the way, in stream chat, he's like, he's gonna skin it and use it as a xenomorph ghillie suit. So now you'll have you get plus.
Oh,
I'm saying this. You'll get +2 when trying to sneak through a horde of Xenos. Absolutely will not. But
you know what would be funny is if Pike decided to take bits of this thing as a trophy and like put them like in his ghillie suit, and they were giving off friendly pheromones, and he accidentally got a benefit he didn't know about.
Australia's just said, and acid resist, so you're gonna have a +1 acid resistance bonus while wearing this ghillie suit.
Honestly, I think he'd be better off taking a couple of those teeth and using them as backup daggers, frankly.
Brass knuckles, but teeth.
Yes, I could see that totally being way more
That's definitely Pike. I feel like that's definitely Pike. The last question is, did you earn any money? And the answer to that is yes. So that will close out our experience points. So 1 more point for everybody on that one.
You know, it's funny because that last point of money takes both of my characters to the exact end of the experience dot chart.
Yes, so make sure if you are over, for anybody, if you are over on those dots, make sure you're keeping track of your extra experience points. After this mission, we will be spending them, of course. That takes us to
survive.
Well, yes, your character has to survive, because otherwise, what's the point? Let's see. Brass knuckles out of the xenomorph's inner mouth. Yes, exactly.
Just a whole maxo part of the jaw.
Yep. Ro, what do you got for feedback and outro related comments?
I'm going to have to think up of appropriately military themed forms of punishment for my wayward Lance Corporal that I'm going to have to inflict in the near future.
Yeah.
Because walking off against orders and leaving your battle buddy behind is breaking several regs, not just one. And he also left prisoners.
I think technically the correct word right now is detainees.
Yeah, okay.
Which you're still by all military regulations.
Detainees in an inappropriate situation by leaving the fellow guard alone and walking off against orders that he was explicitly given. So he's at least 3 fuck-up steep. Yeah. At least 3.
Yeah.
So he's going to get... I'm going to come down on him, then Pike's going to come down on him. It's not going to be good.
Zimborski's going to come down on him when he finds out. Actually, no, he probably won't. He's just going to let Pike run it because he's going to be like, I'm not fucking that mental health bullshit that he's talking about. You deal with it. Make sure it's dealt with appropriately.
Because if I was standing there when this happened, my character would have intervened. But she and Watts have a job still to do. So
yeah,
she
where
would not have
exactly was Watts?
Warren did intervene. So
Warren did.
Warren
yes.
did. He stopped him from untying him, but now he's left by himself because Winston basically was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Where was Wescott and Watts headed to after this? By the way, after they were in
Yeah,
the
after the
sleeper bay?
initial, because they probably would have gone to look for. Okay, they would have moved to the
The
other
mainframe?
side,
Were they going to the computer
because there's
mainframe
a
or
portion of. Let me look. Okay, you move. I have to say, this clipping through walls thing is super frustrating
it
because I
can be?
can't
Yeah,
even skip
yeah.
people around in hallways that I know where are.
And I think I even tried that at one point, and it wouldn't let me do it sometimes. But
Okay, so I mean, there's med bay, the guard room. If I had to pick, there's probably a door over here that's either going to be the one I want, because it's either going to be the door there all the way into the muster station, or it's going to be the door in the top rightmost corner of the hallways.
you talk about this door.
That's left. Oh wait. Shit.
one?
Do I have my left and right backwards?
You talking
Left.
about this
On
one?
the northwesternmost point of the hallway.
I'm going the wrong way. That's my bad. This
Yeah,
one.
yeah. It helps if I remember my directions
And
properly.
it would help if I was as well.
I mean, there was also a ladder in the maintenance bay.
Yeah, but the ladder goes down into flooded land, and we don't
Flooded
have
land.
respirators.
And we don't have what? What did you say?
Respirators.
Respirators. I totally heard something else. I thought you were talking about like waders, like wet weather boots, basically.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, this first doorway down here was the one that was not like the others.
Correct. Yes, this door was marked differently.
That's the first next door they would be checking, is that one.
Okay. All right. Cool. And that way, I think everybody is more or less where it ought to be the next time we come around. Luke, feedback and outro related statements, if you would, please.
All right, so I really like the direction this is going in. There's some strife happening.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
also left with a
so-
moral decision to make right now, by the way.
there's a couple decisions, I imagine. I've been waiting the entire episode to say this in the walkie-talkie voice, so bear with me. But
Go for it.
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really expecting. Listen, this is. I want to preface this with, this is my sense of humor. I do not mean to be rude to anybody when I say this, but because you have
Fine.
that radio voice and you're from Canada, what I was really expecting for a half second there was, "Welcome to Tim Hortons. What can I get you? What can I get started for you?"
See, I was expecting like War of the Worlds like intro.
Oh yeah, yeah. Aliens from another world coming to ours.
Yes, that's what I was
That
expecting.
old school
Right.
style of Newsies or whatever they call it.
I mean, there's actually chunks of those radio programs on like YouTube nowadays.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure. Luke, I think you were about to say something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna oblige.
Oh, so sweet.
Aliens coming down to Earth. What will they bring? What horrors? What new discoveries?
It's amazing. I feel like I'm in an episode of Clone Wars now. You got anything else for us, Luke?
No, I'm pretty much that's about it. I'm excited to see what happens. I think what was the objective was Winston was going down to the hull access door, and the second thing I wanted to bring up was, did the ship land upright?
It is upright. It's just there. It's actually a bit of a cant. Like it's kind of leaning a little bit one way. That's why if you
Yeah.
notice, and I don't remember this, so I kind of had to roll with it. That's part of the reason why the computer mainframe room is deeper than, say, the sensor maintenance bay.
Okay, so
because
it
that's-
canted that way.
Yeah. And I didn't really
So-
clarify that a whole lot because I forgot last week, to be totally honest. But the ship is kind of leaning a little bit at a bit of an angle. So, meanwhile,
okay.
with you guys in the hypersleep bay, it's probably like ankle deep as opposed to shin or knee or even hip deep.
So I guess my question was, the big AC is probably somewhat more in the ground than it should be, and it's also on the side of the ship rather than the top of the ship.
The
I
big
guess.
AC. What are you talking about?
Autocannon.
Oh, the it's. I guess it is
It's
more
a
on the
railgun.
side, and then yeah, the railgun. I guess it is more on the side, and then the corresponding other side is just
Would have had one
either
too.
been sheared off at some point or it's just completely buried in the muck. Probably sheared off
Okay.
would make more sense.
Yeah, I like to shear it off because of the canted angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I just want it to be specific.
No worries. No worries.
Next up.
All right. Kane, what do you got for us, my friend?
Well, I'm looking forward to his attempt to get the whole access because Pike's about where he is because he's changing into his ghillie suit.
His alien
So this is
ghillie
gonna
suit?
walk out of the room and basically right into Pike. So this will be fun.
Is he putting on his new alien ghillie suit that he doesn't actually have?
No, he's putting on the ghillie suit he has because he's getting ready for this ambush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because he's thinking right now that he's got confidence that that Wescott's going to get this cannon running.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to prepare himself an ambush position outside so he can try to direct fire for it
Okay.
to try to help them aim and hit this dropship.
Okay. That may change. I may have to prep a little bit harder for next week and actually start putting things into place for this ambush. That actually makes more narrative sense than what I was originally planning.
The other thing that he can do from out there is if it does go badly and it misses, then he can try to stay out there quietly
Mm-hmm.
and wait to see if we can get comms up and he can try to direct fire from orbit.
That can get really tricky because if you're off even by the tiniest bit from orbit, that can have
we don't know how
disastrous consequences on the ground.
We don't know how many guys are coming. So
Yeah,
he's
no,
gotta
that's
try,
true. And
he has
nobody
to plan
asked
for the worst and hope for the best.
Nobody asked how many people there might be. So
But that he asked if any of them were on the ground to try to get numbers.
correct. And she said they might be, or they will be soon, or something like that.
Yeah,
But
they will
you
be
didn't
soon.
ask,
It was
you didn't
vague.
ask the specific question. How many are there?
Yeah.
You know this module or this adventure or whatever you want, this mission.
Mhm.
I know you
Yeah.
know it, but yeah.
But yeah, so it's but yeah, it'll be funny because Pike's just like outside the door.
He's like half in and half out of his clothes right now.
Yeah, well, he's putting his ghillie suit on top of his armor right now. So
Okay, gotcha.
I can see it now. Leland steps out, walks towards the entrance. 2 feet outside the door, he just sees Pike staring at him.
He's like, "What the fuck are you doing right now? This is
Yeah.
very much the exact opposite of what I told you to do."
yeah, this it'll be a fun opening to the next session.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I think,
here's the question I have to pose is, do we do that opening, or do we do the opening of Warren getting the shit beat out of him by 3 unarmed savages?
Well, hopefully the fact that hopefully the
We're
fact
20
that
feet
we're
away.
going to have our conversation right outside the door means we'll hopefully have time
Well,
to
that's what I
say,
have to. That's what I
I
have to
see.
coordinate and how to set it up is how much
It's
of an ass
called
whooping.
We Roll It in Initiative Land.
Yeah. How much
Yeah,
of
I
an
think there's
ass
a couple
beating
ways
is
this can
Warren?
roll.
Yeah, how much of an ass beating does Warren take before you guys are able to intervene? Pike trying to rush in with one pant leg.
Yeah, we're just like ghillie pants on and his jacket off, and he's just running in like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is even going on here? I fucking quit. I'm done with this shit. I fucking hate you guys.
Oh God, this is not going to go well.
So I think the thing about Leland is that he's going out there probably more upset and angry than like scared at this point.
I think that makes sense. Is after that initial, like, he froze, and then Warren tried to interact with him to bring some sense into him, and now he's just like, he's past the initial freeze, which I believe mechanically isn't exactly how you resolve that, but I'll just hand wave it. And
Okay.
Now he's just, this is walking out in utter frustration, and of the, not just your normal levels of this is a retarded amount of frustration, but like as a side effect of the freeze, this is what that frustration looks like, is like you are just completely out of character. Your character is walking off, doesn't know what to do, is maybe mentally not even all there cognizant of what's going on around him. Like, you're going to turn that corner and there's Pike, and you're like, yeah, I recognize that that's Pike, but I cannot comprehend anything.
Just don't care.
It's not even caring. It's like you don't even get to the point where you can decide whether or not you care. It's You're just not
Pike is
recognizing.
just background scenery to the fact that you really, really want to be outside.
Yeah, like that's really what it is. It's some
Just
sort
gonna
of
go through them.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're gonna go right by him and right off because you know how to get to the exit to where fresh air is. That's where you're going, and that's the only thing you can actually physically comprehend right now. Is
Yeah.
I need air. This is too much. I need 5 minutes.
Got it.
It'll be an interesting start to the session.
It is. It will be. Yes.
Yep.
Very much.
There's
Anything
a few
else?
Yeah, because if I was standing there in the hallway versus Pike standing there in the hallway, our command styles are not the same.
I think Pike
I feel like
is
I'm losing a tooth.
You're gonna lose something, all right. All right. Anything else before we wrap this up, my friends?
We have a
Next
shitload of
week-
XP to spend.
You do.
Yeah.
You have a lot.
Yeah, we do.
I have 20 points each character, so
Oh, that is going to be a lot.
next week is my first week of my new shift.
Okay.
Where I'm working till 10:30 technically. So if the training wraps early, sweet, but probably not.
Okay. So should we plan to start at 11 your time then?
If you're okay with doing that at least for 1 week till I figure out how it goes.
Yeah.
It's frankly training, so I don't think they're going to have someone sitting there hand holding me for more than a week. But it's kind of hard to escape out of work a little early or multitask
Yeah.
when I literally am sitting there being trained by someone on a conference call.
Absolutely. No,
yeah,
I
that
get
tends to be pretty involved.
it. So let's do this. Let's plan for. Let's assume 8:00. And if we have to start later than that, we'll figure it out, or potentially even, if necessary, cancel for the week, and then we'll come back next week and figure it out in between.
Yeah.
So
It's just that first week or two of training where I have to be extra attentive that it's going to be more an issue.
Yeah.
If nothing else, after that, I can join the first half hour on my phone and then sit down at my computer properly
yeah, no worries.
after that.
No worries.
Okay. I can deal with that.
Well, that is it for us here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you have enjoyed the show, or if you're watching this on YouTube, please consider all the likes and subscribe buttons and all the other ones. Also, consider joining the Discord server. The link for the Discord server is in the description below. So please come on down, hang out, talk shop, talk shit. Whatever it is, beg for Tim Horton donuts and coffee if you want. Because, I don't know, maybe you'll get it. I don't know. I believe, now that Second Star has ended, this is our last show for the week. Which seems incredibly weird to me at this point. Because I was doing almost 3 nights a week for I don't know how long. Sometimes even 4 for that matter. And not right now, I'm down to 2. But, potentially, another match for the Greyland Trios League being recorded later this week. Potentially. I got to confirm with one of these people here on this screen right here now. But more on that as it develops. And you'll find out more if you were on the Discord server. That's not a weird way to try to get you to join. But if you did join, you would know all these things, potentially. At any rate, we're going to get out of here. Stay safe out there, my friends. The world is a crazy, dark place. It may or may not have xenomorphs of various types and forms wandering about. You never know. So make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. As for me and mine, we're out of here. Have a good one, my friends. I even waited an extra second or two before I hit the button.